York City mayoral election on Tuesday could factor into future decisions by financial firms regarding where to station their workforces. Critics of the policies advocated by Democratic nominee Mamdani, who identifies as a Democratic Socialist, have warned that his tax hike plans and other plans could have incentivized businesses' departures. I'm Janet Huxley for the Crusade Channel, seeking news and finding truth.
In a world more and more infiltrated with fake news, AI-generated slop-ola, isn't it great knowing that Crusade Channel News is still researched, written, and performed by actual humans?
Hey, what are you doing in here?
Oh no, get your hands off of me. You chipped my chip.
Boys, break it up! Jeez.
Catch Crusade Channel News, weekday mornings on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio, the way it should be.
No AI was harmed in the making of this radio content. We hope to next time.
let's try that again. We'll get the program started and ask the question of the day for real.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Well, I'll tell you.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire. For safe and secure society.
Alrighty, the call-in line telephone number, if you'd like to be on the program today, 844-527-8723, 8445. Email address, same as it ever has been. I am KingDude at Proton. The hell was that?
I had to plug in back into the...
Oh. Enough zaps for one day. Email address, same as it ever has been. I am KingDude at protonmail.com. What was that? Crusader Stadium chat room is open at crusadechannel.com/chat. The Gremlins and the Demons do not want us to be broadcasting today and warning the world about the Caliphate. So we can take that much away. If I ran the Apollo 13 sound check system, Apollo 13 flight controller is going to be a no-go. We get all no-goes. The video computer died, crashed, like with 1 minute before broadcast. What's wrong now? The video computer died. The audio machine died in the other room. Then there was a routing issue that had to be fixed, and then the Comrex disconnected. And when I went to go use the bookmark that I have saved, because you have to use the web browser to actually connect it, the address that was in there was the old address, and so I had to manually input it's just a cacophony of gremlins today. It's all gremlins. I'm convinced it's all gremlins. Well, let me tell you why. Because the Caliphate is here. We're the only ones that have been talking about that Zoran, that moron, Mamdani, the not magnificent, that the fear of what he is preaching and what he's going to do, it's not socialism. That's already been tried. And maybe that's part of the program. But the real fear, and now it's here. There's no denying it. 50% of New Yorkers plus 0.4% of about half of the registered voters want Sharia law. Well, they may not have come out and said it, but you don't understand how Islam plays. And Islam is going to tell you that you're either going to get Sharia law or you're going to die by the sword. You will either suffer under the diemitude and you will pay the jizya, that's the tax, or you will convert and you will become one of them. This is what has arrived here on the shores of the United States. It's already across the Europe, across the EU and the UK. Think of it like this. Throw out Tokyo. What are the 5 largest cities in the world, in the English-speaking world? Which is why I said throw Tokyo out. Throw Tokyo out. You could throw Paris out. You could throw Berlin out. What are the 5 largest cities in the English-speaking world? Maggie? What are just the 10 largest cities? That will tell you what the 5 largest cities are. Just going out on a limb, we'll just guess here, and I'm pretty sure that I'll be close. You would throw Los Angeles, New York City, New Tenochtitlan City, and London. Those would be in the top 5, maybe 1, 2, and 3, unless I'm missing an English-speaking city, maybe Sydney, Australia. In any event, so...
London, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston.
Okay, London, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston. So we'll leave Houston out, and we'll go with London, New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. London's mayor is a Muslim. There are women in London. Can you go back on my Twitter? Go back a couple of days, get the clip of the English woman who said that she will not leave her house without a man now. She lives in London and she wants to get out. She goes, where am I supposed to go? I was born here. I lived here. These people invaded. And now I have nowhere to go. I am surrounded by Muslim Pakistani men who want to rape me. I won't leave my house without a man, this woman said. This is on my Twitter a couple of days ago.
Is that the British TV?
Yeah, the British TV anchor. This is what's coming to New York City. It's already in London. It's going to happen in New York now. Moran, the Kamdami, the not magnificent. You know what? One of the last big, great rulers of the Ottoman Empire was Suleiman the Magnificent. Maybe Mamdani. I told you the other day that the guy may actually be Antichrist. You hear his demagoguery from last night, bro. It is coming. I would usually play the Soviet national anthem, and I will for Virginia and Pennsylvania. You people in Pennsylvania, dude, you got a problem. You got a major. Now you're stuck with a majority of leftards on your Supreme Court. And your elections were completely and totally destroyed by 3 counties. There are 60 some odd counties in Pennsylvania. Look at the election map from the judicial elections in Pennsylvania yesterday. The entire state is crimson red, except for 4 blocks of blue. 4 counties control millions of square acres in Pennsylvania, and they only occupy hundreds of thousands of acres. Okay, this is what's happening in London. Play the clip from the terrified woman. This is. Wait a minute. Hold on. Where's Samuel L. Jackson when you need him? Hold on to your butts.
Oh, I live in the borough right next to Hillingdon.
Yep.
And I moved into my house in 2019. My local shop, there's been 3 stabbings, 1 murder since then.
Wow.
My friend was murdered last year up on the high street. Girl I know was murdered in Southall Park. The government are failing us. I'm so scared for my children. I have a 22-year-old son, and I'm begging him to move out of the country.
Oh my goodness, I feel for you.
What are these politicians doing to us? They're putting our children in so much danger. They're putting everyone in danger. And they're not doing nothing to help us.
And that's the thing a lot of us feel. How many is too many?
1.
They're pushing us to do something that we don't want to do. We are peaceful people. British people never vote against their government.
Yeah.
They're going to push us to it because they're not listening to us. Our friends, our family are dying. I had a cousin murdered 20 years ago who was stabbed to death, and nothing has changed, Julia.
I'm so sorry, Sarah. I'm sure I speak for everyone listening and watching right now. My heart goes out.
If you're
to
listening
you.
on radio, you can't see this. Triple stabbing in London is
I don't leave the house without a man.
Headline for the show.
You're that worried.
Well, everyone I know is getting stabbed. They're getting raped in parks. This is where I live, not where the politicians live.
Do you think that's part of the issue, that they don't live in the real world?
Keir Starmer, if you're listening to this, please do something. I'm petrified. I've never broken the law in my life. I've been a law-abiding citizen. I've been a civil servant. Please do something. It's us that are dying on the streets. You talk about being racist. We're not racist. My sister's mixed race. I was a white child brought up in a mixed race family. Nothing to do with race.
Exactly.
To do with our safety.
Okay, so what she is describing is a situation in London where you heard her say, Keir Starmer, if you're listening, do something. I have a friend that was murdered last year. I have another friend, she said, that was stabbed to death. I had another friend, my sister, has been stabbed. This is happening in London. You heard her say, we don't revolt. The English don't revolt against our government, but they're turning us in that direction to make us revolt. We'll be back.
You may not believe it, but Bram Stoker's Dracula may be a work of non-fiction.
What? That's scarier than getting stuck in an elevator with Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, good grief. Really? Come on, I'm trying to be serious here.
Okay. Hear it and other amazing tales on Turley's Believe It or Else, 10 to 11 a.m. Central, every Tuesday on the Crusade Channel. Our app and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Thousands of years ago, if you owned a book, you had to haul it home in a wagon, and you'd need your two oldest sons to carry it into the house. Then you'd need one family member who could read.
The story of Beowulf.
Another to hold the candle.
Hold it steady.
And another to turn the pages.
Not that close, you'll catch it on fire.
The good news for you is that was then and this is now. And now you have the Founders Trading Post store, where ordering, delivering, and reading your favorite books is literally a snap. Here's what's new this month.
Bear Wozniak's 12 Rules for Manliness. Where have all the cowboys gone?
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Channel News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Wednesday, November the 5th, 2025. This report is brought to you by the 2A LibertyWatchCompany.com. Watches that express your love of the Second Amendment, American liberty, and President Trump. All beautifully crafted and endorsed by Mike Church. Shop their stylish line of watches today at 2AWatchCompany.com. In the market report, the Dow was down 0.53% and the S&P dropped 1.17%. NASDAQ plummeted 2.04%. Today is National Love Your Red Hair Day, and it's Stress Awareness Day. Once we begin to identify the causes of stress in our lives, we can begin to eliminate or reduce stress. Some tools to help with stress include developing coping skills, identifying and letting go of the things you can't change, exercising, and of course, eating a balanced diet that fuels your body so you're better able to cope with stress. But you know what? Today is also National Donut Day. History disputes the origin of the donut, but one theory suggests Dutch settlers brought donuts to North America much like they brought other traditional American desserts like apple pie and cream pie and cobbler. Our quote of the day: stay quiet with God. Do not spend your time in useless chatter. St. Charles Borromeo. And our saint of the day is St. Elizabeth. You're listening to Crusade Channel News.
Get yourself a rebel yell warmed up, buddy. You're gonna need it. The Caliphate has come to America. So let me finish my my population rundown here. Okay, so London, the largest city, English-speaking city in the world, is London, England, mayored by a Muslim. The largest city in the United States is New York City, now mayored by a Muslim. The second largest city in the United States, Los Angeles, the city formerly the City of Angels, now the city of Santa Muerta, is run by a former member of the Socialist, Democrat Socialist, Commie Karen Bass. She may as well be a Muslim, although I'm sure that she is friendly with them. She most certainly is a Castro brother wannabe. So you got a pair of Muslims, a Castro in training, and then you go to the fourth, and you go to Chicago, and you have Brandon Johnson, who was another Castro, and a pretty stupid one at that. Another Castro in training. So in the top four cities, English-speaking cities in the world, and that is again London, New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago, you have abject heresy against little r republicanism and ordered liberty. Communism is at odds. Communism says there is no God. Socialists are pretty much just watered down communists. And then you have the pair of Muslims who are bringing Muslims to their cities and are also bringing the rule Sharia law and the Caliphate to, and it's going to come to New York now. What do you hear, Kami Mamdani? And doesn't Zoran sound like an Ottoman name? He could be straight out of the Battle of Lepanto. He could be straight out of the Battle of Vienna. He could have lost to Don John Sobieski. What people don't understand, and this is not nationwide, so the panic is you should be concerned about it, but it is limited to certain areas. Now, are they trying to make inroads everywhere else? Of course they are. This is the Caliphate. You know, while Christians are busy arguing over whether or not Mary is the co-redemptrix of the Christians of the world, and she is, and this is consuming trillions of pixels and nanoseconds of thought on X. I just checked out. Michael Hitchburn made a very simple statement, and I went, "Oh, that's really good, Hitchburn. Thank you very much." And then, tidal wave. See, one thing about the Islamics and the Muslims, at least they pretty much all agree. If they're practicing that faith, then they pretty much all practice it the same. And they seem to be very devoted and committed to it. This thing called the Caliphate is real. Don't kid yourself. It's not something that's made up. It's not something that a bunch of right-wing fanatics that are afraid of men wearing turbans conceived of. It's real. And anyone that knows anything about the history of Europe, and certainly of Christendom, from about the 8th century on, you should know this. You should know that there was a reason why Pope Urban called for the First Crusade. It was existential. It was either you go there and take our stuff, the holy stuff back and the Holy Land back and stop them, or they will control and they will ultimately take over and they will run Europe. You remember at the Battle of Lepanto, where was Ali Pasha going? After he defeated the Holy Fleet, because he thought he would, what was he going to do? He was going to anchor on the coast of Italy, and he was going to bring an army in. He was going to send a message back to Turkey, to the Ottoman Empire, send the rest of the soldiers. And there would have been an invasion of hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million or more, members of the Turkish army, and they would have invaded the land. And where would they have been going? Well, they're going to march to Vatican City. They were going to take Vatican City, they were going to cut the Pope's head off, and they were going to somehow get a crane system up there, and they're going to erect a crescent on top of St. Peter's Basilica. They were going to tear all the statues of the saints down, and they were going to turn it into another Mecca or Medina. That's what they were going to do. And from there, they would have invaded and destroyed the remaining empires and the remaining kingdoms of Christendom. Of course, they were defeated at Lepanto. You know that. You know how the story ended. And they were sent packing. And why were they defeated at Lepanto? Because of the intercession of Mary. And you don't, that's just you taking credit. Well, no, you could actually talk to Don John of the Holy Fleet, and he would tell you that why the victory was. We're nitpicking around the edges here. Play Mamdani. I usually don't play sound bites in the first hour. You need to hear this. So who is it that are New Yorkers that he just won this election for? Well, you're not going to hear anything about New Yorkers. You will hear about Mexicans. You will hear about Yemenis. You will hear about Senegalese. You will hear about Trinidadians. You will hear about Ethiopians, all Muslims.
Thank you to those so often forgotten by the politics of our city who made this movement their own. I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties.
Ethiopians, Trinidadian.
Yes, aunties. To every New Yorker in Kensington and Midwood and Hunts Point.
Yemeni bodega owners. Did you know that the Yemenis own the bodegas? Well, don't worry, Yemenis. You won't own them anymore because he's going to take them from you. So, soon you will be a former Yemeni bodega owner. It's for the good of the people. It's for your own good, though, you think. Mexican abuelas. Abuelas. What the hell's an abuela? I don't even know what an abuela is. So he begins the thank yous with Yemenis, Mexicans.
Abuela is a Mexican grandmother.
Oh, a grandmother. Senegalese taxi drivers, the Senegalese. Uzbek nurses. Trinidadian line cooks. And then Ethiopian aunties. What's missing from his list of people to thank who are now going to be liberated? Americans. At the very end, you get, oh yeah, man, those are you in the Yonkers, or whatever it was that he said. The Caliphate is here. Now, at least they have the courage of their convictions, and Christian men and women you better buck it up, buddy. These people and this religion doesn't play. Now, again, I usually don't play digital media files in the first hour, but you need to hear it. Play number 4. Oh, wait till you hear this one. This woman is an intern, Moron the Magnificence. Her name is Hadika Arzu Malik. This is her message post Mamdani win. To all of you that are going like, oh, come on, TKD, it's not that bad. This is America. That's not going to happen. Well, tell it to her.
And the true believer knows that none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad, that this is all ibadah, and that this is all counted for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the conversation of doxing, the conversation of getting arrested and suspended, I think it's time for Muslims to start to say, all right, so what? Do what you want. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because it's about time to do that. And I know everybody has their own families and has an education and everything. It's just a question. We don't want to get doxxed, and we don't want to get suspended, and we don't want to get arrested. How gangsta are you? that's just my question. How much are you willing to do it? And I know everyone has their own risk levels, but at the end of the day, that's a question to ask ourselves. How committed am I to this? To what extent of my personal material gains am I willing to sacrifice for this bigger noble cause? And subhanAllah, I truly believe that when your heart is in the right place, if you get suspended, if you get doxxed, because it's bound to happen when you're doing a righteous cause and when you're doing something for the sake of Allah here in the West, it will never ever be in vain. And the true believer does not fear that, because the true believer knows that the akhirah is a promise.
So the true believer knows that I can't keep up with all the words. What were the words? The true believer knows that the jihad is real. The true believer knows that the whatever is real. The true believer knows that you heard them. And then look, how gangster are you, yo? So how gangster do you want to be? Are you willing to be gangster enough so that, I don't know, what are you supposed to do? What's that? I said you can play number 2. Are you willing to be gangster enough so that you, what laws is it that she's talking about that need to be violated and need to put, if you're going to do this and you're going to be facing jail time, you can't be worrying about going to jail, and you can't be worrying about going to their jails. You can't be worried about getting doxxed. You can't be worried about what people are going to say about you. Does Moron the Magnificent agree with this? I don't know. Why don't we ask him? Number 2.
He quotes the.
Okay, we'll do number 3. It doesn't matter which one. The whole thing, the whole thing is a feat of demagoguery.
Standing before you, I think of the words of Jawaharlal Nehru. A moment comes but rarely in history.
Who in the hell is Nehru?
When we step out from the old to the new. When an age ends and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance. Tonight we have stepped out from the old into the new. So let us speak now with clarity and conviction that cannot be misunderstood about what this new age will deliver and for whom. This will be an age where New Yorkers expect from their leaders a bold vision of what we will achieve, rather than a list of excuses for what we are too timid to attempt.
Now, maybe you heard of a Nehru suit.
He's the founding father.
Who is Nehru? I know him by Nehru suit. All the James Bond villains wear Nehru suits.
No, he's technically considered the founding father of the Socialist movement in India.
So there you have the, let's throw our hats out to all the foreigners who have already invaded New York. Now let me tell you who my inspiration is. Nehru, the socialist leader of India. And yeah, I'm not inspired by George Washington or Lincoln or any American. I am inspired. What is he inspired by? Well, apparently, he's inspired by... Well, play number 2. Number 2 is the long one. Play the long one.
If anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one. So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you.
All right, here we go.
Turn the volume up.
Of course, this was a campaign dig. Turn the volume up, Trump. Look, you hear this cheering, folks?
We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation and exploit tax breaks.
Good luck with that.
We will stand alongside unions and expand labor protections because we know, just as Donald Trump does, that when working people have ironclad rights, the bosses who seek to extort them become very small indeed.
This is all about taking the man down. This is right out of Lenin, 1917.
A city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants.
Immigrants.
And as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
Led by immigrants, powered by immigrants, populated by immigrants, and now led by immigrants.
That's what you got.
This is New York City in New York State. Last I checked, and the United States. What? Now, this guy is a little tin horn. He's never had a real job. He's never had to do any of this. But then again, neither did Vladimir Lenin. You know, Stalin in his youth, Stalin was a pretty boy protester type who was, pretty boy atheist artist type. Neither one of those two ever accomplished anything in their lives until you put political power into their hands. You must understand, ladies and gentlemen, the principalities and dominions, the demons, have scored a victory here. He doesn't need skill. He has preternatural assistance now. And anyone that thinks that that's just me saying we're just babbling on, you don't know the history of what Islam is capable of and what it does. Let us go to the pages of EWTN for just a moment here. The book is Hilaire Belloc's The Great Heresies. Chapter number, we have it in the Founders Trading Post, we're sold out of it, is the Heresy of Muhammad. In the Heresy of Muhammad, this is chapter 4, Belloc begins, it might have appeared to any man watching affairs in the earlier years of the 7th century, say from 600 to 630, that only one great main assault having been made against the church, Arianism, and its derivatives, that assault having been repelled, and the faith having won its victory, it was now secure for an indefinite time. Christendom would have to fight for its life, of course, against outward unchristian things, that is, against paganism. The nature worshippers, the high Persian civilization to the east, would attack us in arms and try to overwhelm us. The savage paganism of barbaric tribes, Scandinavian, German, Slav, and Mongol in the north and center of Europe would also attack Christendom and try to destroy it. The population subject to Byzantium would continue to parade heretical views as a label for their grievances. But the main effort of heresy, at least, had failed, so it seemed. Its object, the undoing of a united Catholic civilization, had been missed. The rise of no major heresy need henceforth be feared, still less the consequent disruption of Christendom. By AD 630, all of Gaul had long been Catholic. He's talking about France. The last of the Arian generals and their garrisons in Italy and Spain had become Orthodox. The Arian generals and garrisons of northern Africa had been conquered by the Orthodox armies of the emperor. It was just at this moment, Belloc wrote, a moment of apparently universal and permanent Catholicism, that there fell an unexpected blow of overwhelming magnitude and force. Islam arose. Quite suddenly, it came out of the desert and overwhelmed half our civilization. Islam, the teaching of Muhammad, conquered immediately in arms. And then he goes through all the rest of the history. Buy the book if you want to read the rest of the chapter. Let us fast forward to near the end, where we'll get Belloc's present-day take. I have said throughout these pages that this particular quality of Mohammedanism, regarded as a heresy, was its vitality. Alone of all the great heresies, Mohammedanism struck permanent roots, developing a life of its own, and became at last something like a new religion. So true is this that today very few men, even among those who are highly instructed in history, recall the truth that Mohammedanism was essentially in its origins a new religion. Like all heresies, Mohammedanism lived by the Catholic truths which it had retained. Its insistence on personal immortality, on the unity and infinite majesty of God, on his justice and mercy, its insistence on the equality of human souls in the sight of their Creator, these are its strength. But it has survived for other reasons than these. All the other great heresies had their truths as well as their falsehoods and vagaries. Yet they have died one after the other. The Catholic Church has seen them pass, and through their though their evil consequences are still with us, the heresies themselves are dead. And then he goes and he talks about the Calvinism and the other ones, and so on with the other great heresies. But Mohammedanism, though it also contained errors side by side with those great truths, flourished continually. Through 1,300 years have passed since its first great victories in Syria, the causes of this vitality are very difficult to explore and perhaps cannot be reached. For myself, I should ascribe it in some part to the fact that Mohammedanism, being a thing from the outside, a heresy that did not arise from within the body of the Christian community, but beyond its frontiers, has always possessed a reservoir of men, newcomers, pouring in to revivify its energies. But that cannot be a full explanation. Perhaps Mohammedanism, he gets into more, what may be the cause of it. Whatever the cause be, Mohammedanism has survived and vigorously survived. Missionary effort has had no appreciable effect upon it. It still converts pagan savages wholesale. It even attracts from time to time some Europeans eccentric who joins its body. In view of this, anyone with a knowledge of history is bound to ask himself whether we shall not see in the future a revival of Mohammedan political power and the renewal of the old pressure of Islam upon Christendom. Well, brother, Hilary Belloc, who died in the 1930s, could not possibly have known that London, England, and the United Kingdom, and they tried this in Ireland. Did you see yesterday that they ripped down the migrant holding camp in Ireland? They got bulldozers. The Irish were cheering and waving Irish flags. They mauled the whole thing. They destroyed it. So the Irish are physically fighting back against the Caliphate. What are we doing?
You may not believe it, but Bram Stoker's Dracula may be a work of non-fiction.
What? That's scarier than getting stuck in an elevator with Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, good grief. Really? Come on, I'm trying to be serious here.
Okay. Hear it and other amazing tales on Turley's Believe It or Else, 10 to 11 a.m. Central, every Tuesday on the Crusade Channel. Our app and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
While Trump continues to try and make America great again
by doing Mortal Kombat with the Clinton, Comey, and Clapper crime families.
You forgot the...
Nope, did not. And the king of Russia treason, the Obama father.
Well, we'll always be there for you with the best live coverage and commentary in media on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
your troubles and doubts, giving me everything inside and out, and love strange, so real in the dark. Think of the tender things that we were working on. Slow change may pull us apart. When the light gets into your heart, baby, don't you forget about me.
In a world more and more infiltrated with fake news, AI-generated slop hola, isn't it great knowing that Crusade Channel News is still researched, written, and performed by actual humans?
Hey, what are you doing in here?
Oh no. Get your hands off of me. You chipped my chip.
Boys, break it up! Jeez. Catch Crusade Channel News weekday mornings on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be.
No AI was harmed in the making of this radio content. We hope to next time.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for cappuccino holy roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com.
Now, in our 9th year, Crusade Channel News is simply the best daily newscast on all of radio.
News that informs and inspires and doesn't destroy any critical thinking brain cells.
Catch it at 6, 8, and 3 p.m. on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and news radio.
The way it should be.
Back in the 90s, there was this thing called the cigar boom, where everyone was buying and smoking handmade cigars. But here's the thing. The popular cigars then were the best made cigars, like Fuente, Joya de Monterrey, and Avo. Over the next 10 years, craftsmanship was replaced by gimmick and slick packaging, and that's when I decided to get in the business and launched El Rey Dude Corona cigars. 20 years later, I launched Mancipio Maria cigars with that same principle in mind. Make a great handmade cigar, and that's exactly what we do in 4 sizes. I invite you to try a 4-pack sampler of my Mancipio Maria cigars and taste them for yourself in smooth, natural, or bold Maduro wrappers. And to sweeten the deal, I've discounted them 25% for a limited time. And as always, we include a personal humidifier with every order. To order, go to shop.mikechurch.com. Order $50 or more, and shipping is on me. Try my Mancipio Maria cigars today at shop.mikechurch.com.
I need something to listen to challenge my faith and tickle my not-so-nice funny bone.
Well, you won't hear anything about Mondays coming or cheeseburgers in paradise, but you will hear the most brutally honest Catholic-inspired commentary on Parrot Talk. Weekdays.
Oh, this boats, beaches, bars, and ballads fan sees what you did there.
Weekdays at 2 Central on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Everybody loves a good trilogy. The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and now the KingDude Seasoning Trilogy. There's Beast and Butt Rub, Acadiana Steak, and the brand new Chicken Mamu Seasoning, a lemon herb-based rub that's won trophies in barbecue chicken cook-offs. Now, we've bundled all 3 spices together, and you can get them for one low price for less than it costs to rent a movie trilogy. And the KingDude offers you is personal money-back guaranteed of your taste buds' complete satisfaction. Order a KingDude Seasoning Trilogy today at shop.mychurch.com.
Crusade Channel and the slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary's Sisters present the Saint of the Day.
Hello, Crusaders. This is Sister Maria Junipera with your Saint of the Day. Today's feast is the Feast of Saint Zachary and Elizabeth and the Feast of the Holy Relics. Saint Zachary and Elizabeth were the father and the mother of Saint John the Baptist, the last and the greatest of the prophets and the precursor of our Lord. Saint Zachary was inspired by God through an angel to give Saint John the Baptist his name. Saint Zachary was martyred in the Temple of Jerusalem by the Jews. Saint Elizabeth was the cousin of the Blessed Virgin Mary. It was to her that Mary went in haste after she had conceived her child, and after she learned that Elizabeth had conceived hers. The second phrase of the Hail Mary, quote, "Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb," end quote, was given us by Saint Elizabeth. The next is the Feast of the Holy Relics. The Catholic Church, having celebrated in November the Feast of All Saints and the Feast of All Souls, on this day honors all the holy relics of their bodies, which will remain on earth until the day of the last resurrection. Veneration of the bodies of the saints is a belief in the resurrection of the body. The dead bodies of the saints are precious to every Catholic because all Catholics believe these bodies will one day rise in glory and be with the souls of the saints to whom they belong. Saint Zachary and Elizabeth, all the holy souls, and all the holy saints, pray for us. Thank you for joining us for this brief summary of the lives of today's saints. Tomorrow's saint is Saint Leonard of Limoges and Saint Leonard of Reresby. To access all of our Saint of the Day recordings as podcasts, head to crusadechannel.com/saints. You can learn more about our sisters and the building of our convent by visiting stphilomena.convent.org. I'm Sister Maria Junipera, and until next time, God bless and Mary keep you.
And now, an exclusive behind-the-scenes look into the Mike Church Show.
You see, what I think we need are new imaging commercials, Jim. Can you help and give me some ad-lib imaging lines we can use to, attract some new subscribers?
Okay, Oh, I know. If there's nothing else to do, listen to the Mike Church Show, now.
Dude.
Or no. How about
Dude.
Mike Church and Lee are really smart,
Jim,
so tune in.
Enough! Okay, Lee, you're in!
Coming, Coach.
Now entering the game, number 11, Trader Jill Lee.
If only there were backups in real life.
Okay, King Dude. What MAGA moms want to hear on the radio is how their sons can become productive, strong men, and how their daughters cannot be killed on trains by the lunatic criminals paroled by radical leftist judges.
Right? That's a good one, Lee. Hey, Jim, how about some Gatorade for Lee?
Okay.
Thanks, Coach. I'm really working up a sweat here. Okay, how about making a spot about the new app? It's so easy, even a boomer can use it.
Perfect. I know just the boomer. Hey, Jim, where's that Gatorade, bro?
My debit card's stuck in the machine again. From boomers to zoomers, the Mike Church Show is America's morning show. Weekdays, 7 to 11 a.m., exclusively on the Crusade Channel app and crusadechannel.com.
And they're not just Democrats. They know the wheel has run off. This country doesn't work.
The Democrats, they took the House, they're in control, and I could die. Payday's creeping, the tax increasing in wintertime, and in July they marry gays by the hour and lesbos by the minute. Took our wetlands and changed the speed limits. I'd like to call them something, but they charge me with crimes of hate. War is something for the strong. They'd fight a hurricane before the Caliphate. There's only one Hillary, but I don't care.
Another vast right-wing conspiracy.
There's Democrats somewhere.
How about if we say that when the Democrats run America, every single day we're going to fight for universal health care? That's what we believe in.
This country doesn't work.
They say Bush lied and people died all afternoon and half the night. Impeachment hearings, Bush knows they'll be held to pay. Hey, they'll whack him right. We ain't caught a detainee now in over a year. Our Iraq redeployment is gonna start right here. If the phone's been lighting, you can tell him he can bomb away. War is something for the strong. They fight a hurricane before the Caliphate. There's only one Howard Dean, but I don't care. There's Democrats somewhere.
We got the Civil Rights Act under Democrat. We got the Voting Rights Act under Democrat. We got the right to organize under Democrat.
This is serious as it gets.
They can commit war crimes, leak secrets to the Times, and raise your taxes up before 2.
We don't know nothing.
So we gotta stop this. I can't help but wonder, what would Ronald Reagan do? I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you gotta take a stand. It don't have to hide. If you hurt my friends, then you hurt my pride.
Well, we need some real Americans around here because we don't have any in New York.
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
All right, welcome back. We're coming up on the 10th anniversary of the Crusade Channel. You'd never know it today. Based on the gremlin-induced technical issues we are experiencing today. We are aware of the play button issue for the radio stream. There is a fix in the chat room. There is a link in there that I put in there that if you open that page and you're logged in, you will get the stream. Otherwise, YouBoob is broadcasting, Twata, X.com is broadcasting, I think Roku. And the disasters just continue to pile up. But in any event, there are video connections out there that you can get the audio feed on. And again, there is a link in the chat room that I put in there. And if you click that, that will take you pretty much to the same page that you would get the button that would deliver I'll put it in there again. So go to crusadechannel.com/chat. If you're a Founders Pass member, and you can click that link, and it's just a one link click and then a play button. A play button will magically appear. So Zoran, the commie Mamdani, the guy who the name even sounds like an Ottoman sultan, doesn't it? Has Trump made a statement yet? Because I want to see what I haven't seen one. I saw one yesterday. We're going to talk about this. The end of the filibuster. I actually looked this up. Because he put one out yesterday saying, if GOP, if you're serious, you're going to lose. You're going to lose the midterms. You're going to lose everything if you don't end the filibuster. These lunatics aren't going to budge. I think after yesterday, if you're a Democrat, you're now out. You got socialist winning in Los Angeles. You got Sharia law lunatics boasting and bragging that they're not American born and they're importing new citizenry into New York City, and then that's the way it's going to be. And if you own a business, we're coming for you. If you're a business and you own it and you employ people, guess what? You're getting unionized. Now, if I'm a businessman and I'm HQ'd in New York City, I hope you were smart and started making plans to get out. These are his. These are the last ones.
Yeah, that's the most recent.
So that was last night, late last night.
Yeah.
Well, he said.
His last one, and so it begins.
I don't see that one.
It's at the top.
Oh, okay. So it goes bottom to top. No, it doesn't.
That was the last one.
Okay.
Before he went to bed.
And so it begins. Yeah. Regarding the filibuster, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the history of it. I'll just tell you that there's no rule in the Constitution that says you have to have a 60-vote majority or a 2/3 majority to pass a simple bill or resolution out of the United States Senate. Now, it's interesting, though, is it not? The Founding Fathers did leave 6 instances, 6, where a 2/3 majority vote is required So the framers of the Constitution went like, do you think there may be instances? I say thou thither. Dost thou thinketh that there may be instances whereas thou could anticipate that there should be more than a simple majority rule vote? And in the 6 instances, well, you can see them on my Twitter and on my Pride book. I'll tell you what they are. The 6 instances. Number 1, you need 2/3 of a vote to override a veto. You can have it in either house or both houses. 2/3 to override a veto. That's in the Constitution. Number 2, to impeach someone, you need a 2/3 vote to convict. That's in the Constitution. It says 2/3. Number 3, to ratify a treaty, you need a 2/3 vote in the Constitution to ratify a treaty. Number 4, to have a quorum to choose a president, you need a 2/3 vote that there is a quorum. Number 5, to expel a member, like who would they kick Santos out or whoever, you have to have a 2/3 vote to kick a member out. And finally, guess what the last one is that you need a 2/3 vote? You have to have 2/3 of the states to call for an Article 5 convention. 3/4 of the states to ratify a convention. An amendment. So the founding fathers did think that there were times when you needed supermajorities in both the House and the Senate, and they made a list. There were 6 right there that I just pointed out. So it is not as though that it was not considered that things could happen in the Senate that you would want a supermajority vote for. Now you fast forward to 1915, and that is when President Woodrow Wilson basically tells the Senate, "You guys got to stop this quibbling crap, and you need to make permanent this thing that you call the filibuster," because at that time it wasn't an actual rule. So they made a rule. They called it Rule 22. Senators from time to time will talk about Rule 22. Rule 22 says, and the Senate passed it. Boy, what an irony. The Senate passed Rule 22 by a bare majority. And that required 2/3 of a vote to break what they call cloture. That rule was changed about 10 years ago. The Democrats were getting upset that they couldn't ram through more things like Obamacare. So they watered the cloture down to 60 votes, which is where it stands now. There is simply no rule in the United States Senate that says that the cloture rule can be edited. There's no rule that, or can't be. There's no rule that says that the cloture rule can't be eliminated. It's not in the Constitution. The Senate makes its own rules. There's no rule that says that I am aware of, that you have to have a parliamentarian sign off on this, and that there has to be a 60-vote majority to bring it into the filibuster. The Democrats were going to do it. Had it not been for Joe Manchin, they would have done it. Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema according to the Republicans, saved the Republic by not voting for the killing of the filibuster. Well, I think that Trump's right. You're going to get something done and you need to do it now. You ought to bring it into the filibuster. You ought to kill it right now. As a matter of fact, if you can kill the filibuster with 51 votes, kill the cloture rule, and then you can reopen the government if you want to and do all the other things. Get your stuff done and then change the rule back to 60. Thank you. It does not have to. This is silliness. This is the silliness. You know what this is? This is the season of cowards. This is the season of cowards. And the guy at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, where they try to lock in jail, and he would be in jail if he weren't president, I think, is sitting there going like, you guys are going to squander everything. I don't know if you noticed, but a communist, a Sharia law lunatic just became mayor of New York City. New York City! Yep, get a rope. I want to talk about something else that's even worse, I think. Apparently, the citizens of the formerly great state of Virginia think it's okay to kill people if you disagree with them. Jay Jones was elected Attorney General. This is the man who fantasized about murdering his political opponent's son in front of its mother. It's not me making this up. I'm not being hyperbolic. It's actual text messages. And the guy never really apologized for it. The Democrat Party never really apologized for it. Well, now you're stuck with it. Now, and he won. It wasn't even close. He won 54-46. So the people of the Old Dominion are now of the opinion that Terry McAuliffe and Ralph Northam are correct. You can kill babies with Black & Decker drills and half-inch drill bits the day that they're born if you don't like them. And, hey, what does it look like? No, go ahead, kill it. Do it. So Northam was right. McAuliffe was right. There really is no thing that is precious that's called human life in the state of Virginia. If you disagree with someone, well, just kill them. And if that doesn't get them to change their stupid MAGA politics, well, then bring their children in front of their mother and kill the child. Pull a King Solomon. Threaten to cut the baby in half. Except if you're a Democrat in Virginia, you're actually just going to cut the baby in half for fun. What the hell is going on in our United States of America? You know, you can yell, secede, 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 all you want. You're just going to be left with governing a smaller group of lunatics. I want to point something else out while I'm on a roll here on the Mike Church Show. By the way, if you're listening to this show and you are enjoying the program or watching it, you should become a subscriber. We do this every day. And people are now turning out, of all days, for the demons to assault all of our electronics. Every computer in this building went out this morning. True story. All of them. One by one. We got them all back up and running. And there still is a glitch with one of them and with the audio stream, but we got our top guy working on it. Maggie, can you throw in the map of Pennsylvania and the judicial races? There was races yesterday in Pennsylvania, statewide races to elect or to re-elect justices of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Now, I personally think that electing Supreme Court justices is probably the most stupid thing you could ever do in your stupid democracy. If you don't trust the people that you have sent to Harrisburg to every 5 years, and I think they ought to have to do it on a 4 or 5 year term, to every 4 or 5 year, either vacate the term of a Supreme Court justice or install a new one, well, then you don't need a democracy. You certainly cannot throw the election of the last stop before you go to the federal Supreme Court in the formerly great state of Pennsylvania. You cannot throw that to an electoral mob. Because basically, whatever they want in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh is what you get now in Pennsylvania. So if you look at an electoral map of Pennsylvania, look at that. That thing is red. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 12 blue counties. There are over 40 red counties. The landmass that is owned that covers the state of Pennsylvania is about 85% red. Sane people. So what it looks to me like ought to happen here is today, Joe Beeman, you should do this. Today, Bert Starr, stop squawking about the moon landing and get to work, buddy. You live in Pennsylvania. What ought to happen today is you ought to form your own little group, and you ought to call it the Pennsylvania Free State Project or something like that. And you ought to draw a line. You see where Harrisburg and Philadelphia are? Everything to the east of where Harrisburg and Philadelphia are, going from north to northeast to that other blue thing up there, that is now eastern Pennsylvania. Now, it is true, you're going to take, let's see here, you're going to take 1, 2, 3, you're going to take maybe five, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to take 8 red counties with you to make Eastern Pennsylvania, but sucks to be them. That's your Eastern Pennsylvania. Then you take this other county here, which is smack dab in the middle of Pennsylvania. You're stuck with that one. The one in the top left, northwest, you're stuck with that one, and you're stuck with Pittsburgh. What I would do is I'd make Eastern Pennsylvania, I'd make Central Pennsylvania. That way that giant blue mass of lunatics in the middle of Pennsylvania can only screw up its central, and then I'd make Western Pennsylvania. Can Pittsburgh screw the elections up? If you start 2 counties to the east of Pittsburgh and take every county north and south of that and make that Western Pennsylvania, is that enough red to overwhelm the maniacs and the lunatics that live in the city of Pittsburgh? And if it's not, well, then you're going to have to make 5 states out of Pennsylvania. I'm serious about this. You can't remain in union with people that want to kill you. You're going to kill you. It's going to lead to a war eventually anyway. So you might as well beat them to the punch. They did this in Colorado. They didn't act upon it. I don't know why it's still sitting there for the northern counties of Colorado to join Wyoming. They did this in the eastern counties of Washington State, then spread to the eastern counties of Oregon. I can't remember how many counties, it's 12 or 13 now, want to join Maryland or want to join Idaho and become part of the the state of Idaho. Not sure why it hasn't happened, but those people are fed up as well. The people in Northern California, there's not a blue county up in Northern California above Marin County. They don't want anything to do with the wackos and lunatics and maniacs in L.A., Sacramento, and in San Francisco, City by the Gay. They even call that, they already have a name for that state. Some people call it Franklin, some people call it Jefferson. These movements have been around for years now. The people in Southern Illinois want out. They don't want to be in league with Chicago any longer. Why should they be? And you can ditto that for several other states. What about upstate New York? My buddy Bill Kaufman wrote a book, Bye Bye Miss American Empire. In Kaufman's book, he lives in upstate New York, and it's all conservative and red up there. People are farmers. This is agriculture, primarily. They have a plan. They call their plan is to have the state of Iroquois. They call it. I'm not sure how many counties it is, but Iroquois is an option. There are people that want Long Island to secede from the rest of New York and become its own republic. Do you blame them? Should the people of Long Island now be tethered to the Mohammedan lunatics that are now going to run and take over New York City? What? Play digital media file number 5 for what we can of it. By the way, AOC was spiking Trumps and every MAGA person's head in the end zone last night. We won New York, now we're coming for you. You may have had a foothold with a bunch of Senegalese cab drivers in New York, sweetheart. That ain't going to work here in the South. Don't try it. Maggie says she doesn't know.
I don't know about people in general.
Well, you used to be a people person, but people cured you of that. Here's a guy from Australia.
So know this, that Islam will enter every house. Every house. Don't worry about the Islamophobes. They can yap all they want. Their children will be Muslim. All those people of Taif, go to Taif today. Show me a kafir there. All Muslims. Read Tariq al-Thaqafi. Al-Thaqafi, this Qabila is from Taif. Great mujahideen, great ulama, they came from the children of those they used to throw those stones. So Islam will enter every house. What's the question? Are me and you going to be a part of it? Are we going to take that become that sabab, that means, so that Allah puts all of that in your hisab? So you can be a part of this great victory that's coming, and wallahi, it's coming. It's coming in every house, in every country. Today here in Australia, subhanAllah, I'm sitting here in a masjid that we have people all the way out past the second place. Look at this. Who could have imagined these many Muslims in Australia? And it's not going to stop. You can stop immigration, you can stop whatever, you can do Muslim bans. Wallahi, it's not stopping. Because the Prophet ﷺ said it will enter every house.
All right, we're going to pick us up on the other side of the timeout. By the way, anybody notice that Dick Cheney died the same day Moron, the not magnificent, was elected? Coincidence?
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Silk Feather. Ma'am, what would you like to drink?
Oh, I'll take the Dom Perignon, of course.
Ah, the lady has taste. And you, sir?
I'll just take the Diet Coke.
Oh, dear.
You know, what I miss about the good old days before social media and AI ruined everything?
Let me guess. No fat people outside of the circus, and Ozempic was the name of a demon in C.S. Lewis story, right?
Well, yeah, but besides that, classic radio shows with actors and actual stories.
Well, lucky for the human race, the Crusade Channel is rolling over 900 episodes of a show called Suspense.
Tweak your mystery-solving muscles over lunch and catch episodes of Suspense, weekdays noon till 2 on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and classic radio the way it should be.
I like my version of suspense. Hey!
Doesn't work without me.
Thousands of years ago, if you owned a book, you had to haul it home in a wagon, and you'd need your two oldest sons to carry it into the house. Then you'd need one family member who could read.
The story of Beowulf.
Another to hold the candle.
Hold it steady.
And another to turn the pages.
Not that close, you'll catch it on fire.
The good news for you is that was then and this is now. And now you have the Founders Trading Post store, where ordering, delivery, and reading your favorite books is literally a snap. Here's what's new this month.
Flee from heresy, from the one and only Bishop Athanasius Snyder, a Catholic guide to ancient and modern errors.
Do you hear that, Maggie?
Do I hear what?
You don't hear the sound of bees buzzing about?
No, I see the result of that buzzing about and these beautiful new beeswax candles.
We sell candles now?
Not just any candles. These are handmade beeswax candles.
Well, that explains me imagining bees.
And they come in different sizes. There's a votive, a 3-day, and a 7-day size too.
Well, that should start a buzz in the store.
It better, or you'll get the buzz.
Order handmade beeswax candles today while supplies last at shop.mikechurch.com.
Okay, please enter the 9-digit 2-step authorization code we just emailed you. Jeez. What do you mean, prove I'm human? Okay, that's a car, that's a car, that's a car. Those are not cars. Please try again. Oh my gosh. I'll show you try again, stupid piece of AI mother. Here, try this.
Jim, what are you doing? Good grief, man. This isn't Office Space the movie. What are you trying to do?
I just wanted to send the KingDude a donation through the stupid computer.
Like Trump, the KingDude makes everything better, including donating, which you can now do by mail.
Mail? They still have that?
Of course they do, and the KingDude's keeping the ponies running on time and in business. Just snail mail your donation to P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
Ha! And you can't. You're such a boomer. Me this time. And wait a minute. I know they're around here somewhere. There! Ha-ha!
Dude, those are airmail stamps from the movie Airplane. Surely you have...
Of course I do. And don't call me Shirley. The Crusade Radio Guild is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, so your donations are tax deductible. Donate today, the Crusade Radio Guild, P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
Hey, Mrs. McGillicuddy, don't be a satellite radio snob and pass by the Mike Church Show. Come on in and browse.
May I help you?
Oh, no thanks, sir. Just browsing.
How long do you intend to browse?
Well, that lady there. You didn't ask her how long she intends to browse. How How come you're asking us how long we intend to browse?
You don't look like browsers.
Now that that's over,
How about a Fresca?
The Mike Church Show, entertaining browsers and fans since 1992 on the Veritas Radio Networks. Crusade.
Doctor.
Give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
I got a bad case of KingDude. Wait a minute. Trump speaking live.
Prestigious law
Hang
firm,
on,
I would say,
hang on.
in the country, just about, whether it's Sullivan or two or three I could name, but Sullivan, I would say, really, maybe number one. He was the head of Sullivan and Cromwell for like 20 years. He went to the SEC, was flawless. He did it for me. He was the SEC chairman. He was flawless. Then he went to Apollo, where he was the chairman of Apollo, and it was flawless. Everything went good. The stock went through the roof and everything. I asked him to go to the Southern District, and he said, "I'll do what you'd like to do, sir." He's a very high-quality person, but he couldn't get approval from Schumer. Schumer didn't approve him. Best student, best schools, everything. He's like flawless. And the courts actually said, "You're not approving Jay Clayton?" Right, Lindsay, you heard this. The courts actually interceded, and they approved him. But that's an unusual guy. We have other people that are really good, but people don't know how good. Top students, top colleges, and they're U.S. attorneys, and they won't be approved. They're not going to be approved. We have one in Los Angeles who's phenomenal. No, the senators, the Democrats are, again, they're kamikazes. The Democrats are not going to approve him. Blue slips are a disaster. So the only people I can get approved are Democrats. I was told that by the Democrats. We'll only approve Democrats. I said, really, is that right? Not going to work that way. Not going to work that way with me. But the blue slips are a total disaster. I have 10 people right now that are doing a phenomenal job, and they will be out of office pretty soon. They've got another 2-3 weeks, a couple of them, and then they're going to have to leave. And it's actually a blight on their record because, nobody knows why they left, but it looks like they served 8 weeks and then they had to leave. But they're not going to get the approval because the Democrat, radical left lunatic senators are saying you can't, we're not going to approve you. And if we're not going to approve you, I had actually one Republican who got 2 great letters, but it turned out that he was a rhino, but that was a nice term for him. Now, he got 2 letters of approval, and when I said 2 Democrats approved him, I had to fire him because I figured if 2 Democrats approved him, they wrote the most beautiful letters. I found out, man, this is strange, and he was no good. I fired him. He was really not much of a Republican. The recommendation of that one wasn't such a good recommendation. Someday I'll tell you who recommended him, but it wasn't exactly the best. But when I saw when I saw the 2 senators from Virginia gave him glowing marks, Tim, I said, let me see this. I read the most beautiful letters I've ever seen. I said, I called him up. I said, sorry, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. But it's a horrible thing. Blue slips is a horrible thing because I have the right to pick judges and I have the right to pick U.S. attorneys, and this takes away the right from me. And I think we're going to go to court on it, and we'll see what happens in court. But it gives the president, it takes away the right of the president to pick people to serve on the court and to serve as U.S. attorneys, which is very important. But the biggest thing is the filibuster. We have to get the country going. We will pass legislation at levels you've never seen before, and it'll be impossible to beat us. By the way, if they do, they're going to do it anyway, and they are going to immediately do the filibuster. And when they do the filibuster, they're going to pack the court. They want at least five justices. Now I hear it's up to 5. I actually heard up to 7 and up to 9, okay? They want new judges. They want to pack the court, and they will do it in the first day, maybe the week. Maybe they'll slow it down because there's no reason to rush. but they'll do it first week. They'll vote on this, and I have friends over there that are Democrats. I'm close to a lot of people, and I asked them about that because some people say, well, maybe they won't do that. I mean, they destroyed the career of Manchin and Sinema, and they got them out. They were the only objectors. Nobody else is going to object. They're going to do it the first day. They're going to pack the court. They're going to make D.C. a state, and they're going to make Puerto Rico a state. So now they pick up 2 states. They pick up 4 senators, okay? You think you have problems? They're going to do all of the things. They're going to pick up electoral votes. It's going to be a very, very bad situation. And it's done. It's done. As soon as they attain power. Now, if we do what I'm saying, they'll most likely never attain power because we will have passed every single thing that you can imagine that it's good and
you get
all
the
good for the
idea.
country. And there'll be no reason to. If we don't do that,
I just wanted to eavesdrop
they're not
in
doing
just to see what was going on here. It says pretty much the same thing he's been saying the last couple of days, which, again, he's just saying it to their face. He's just saying it to their face now and going like, what the hell are you... Do you think that they're going to have mercy on you should they ever get back in control of the U.S. Senate? Do you think that they're not going to do? Look, I told you the story earlier. The only reason the filibuster is still there is because Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema refused to go along with the program. And as he just said, they ruined him. Manchin is gone. Sinema is gone. Think of it like this. What did the Democrats in Virginia just do? As the highest law enforcement officer in the state, the Attorney General, they just installed the murder fantasy man. The guy that sits around and sends text messages to people he thinks are friends of his and says, you know what? I think I have 2 bullets for that guy. He named the Republican politician. If we could go back in time, before I would kill Hitler or Stalin or Pol Pot, or he said Hitler or Pol Pot, I would take out the Republican dude. And if that didn't change his mind, then I would kill his kid in front of his mother. Now, I don't think that this is an idle threat. I think this is the kind of sick, twisted thinking that you have out there now. And now you had people in New York have sent Moron, the not magnificent, the Sharia law king, and that's what he's going to be, to lead New York. What happened in New Jersey? Jack Ciattarelli, again, the Fox News echo chamber is just that. It's not a majority. It's not reality. What you see on those shows is not reality. It's an echo chamber. They talk to each other and look, he's rising in the polls. I saw the same polls. By the by, there was not a single poll that predicted Kami Mamdani's 50% of the votes plus 0.4% victory last night. If there was one, I didn't see it. What about New Jersey? So Ciattarelli loses in New Jersey, and then the lunatic left-wing radical tranny, and she is a tranny mammy, is now the governor of Virginia. You're only saving grace in Virginia if you're going to try and flee the hell that's been created by, again, the northern part of Virginia. Look, Virginia has a history. Virginia used to be, the Old Dominion used to be Virginia, West Virginia, part of Ohio, all of Kentucky, and all of Tennessee. If you guys are smart, what you will do is you will do what they did in the 1860s and made West Virginia, and you'll make Northern Virginia. You'll go to your legislature, you have enough counties, you have enough votes in the Senate to get this done. You'll have a petition, and then you'll have to petition Congress, hope that it's in Republican hands, and you get that done. By the way, do you know when the last time, speaking of reforming and trying to fix this political disaster that we have called the United States, there was an effort to repeal the 17th Amendment, which calls for the election of senators popularly. Instead of state legislatures choosing senators, you would choose, you get to vote on them, which I think is, again, that's not how the Senate was designed. It's not supposed to work like that. So who cares about the filibuster? I mean, really. The Senate was destroyed by the 17th Amendment. You might as well finish the job and make it a majoritarian body and get rid of the filibuster. So 50 votes plus one, or 51 votes gets anything passed other than a treaty and the other things that I mentioned earlier out of the Senate. This is interesting, though. In 2003, there was a bill, a resolution that was filed to repeal the 17th Amendment. I think it had a little bit of support, didn't go very far. It got squashed. Now, it has no chance of getting out of the Congress today. And the reason I say that, actually it does. If the Republicans were smart, but they're not smart. This is the stupid party, right? If the Republicans were smart, here's what they do. How many state legislatures does the Republican Party currently control? Your time starts now, Roger. Best of luck. That's not a trick question. It's a rhetorical question. How many legislatures does the Republican Party currently control? I'll take government for 1,000, Alex. 32. 32. Who chooses the senators, according to the Constitution, if you repeal the 17th Amendment? The House in that state that has the largest representation. What is that in almost every state? The legislature. Representing, assemblymen, whatever you want to call them. What is 32 times 2? Anyone want to take a guess? 64. So if the Republican Party wants a coup d'etat, and they want to eliminate the threat of these murderous lunatics called Democrats, once and for all, here's how you do it. Put a resolution on the floor of the House of Representatives. You just need a simple majority. Get the resolution out of the House of Representatives. Get it over to the Senate. Say that you wish to repeal the 17th Amendment. And then send that resolution to the legislatures of those 32 states. Now, you could do this under an Article 5 convention, or you could do this just for that to be the Article 5. There were already 26 states that have called for or 31 states that have called for an Article 5. You only need 5 more. So you call for the Article 5 convention. You got to have it quick. You pass the balanced budget amendment that's out there from the balanced budget amendment people that Dr. Kevin Gutzman and I were working with about 12 years ago. You pass that balanced budget amendment. You repeal the 17th Amendment. While you're at it, if you really want to clear the politics up, get women out. Get rid of them, get rid of them, get rid of them. Sorry. Going to have to go back to jiggling eggs and frying pans. That's your role. I think you'll really like it, though. You're out of politics. You're done. And then we can really right the ship. Repeal the 17th Amendment, restore the election of senators by the branch of the legislature with the largest amount of members. And within a year, if you were to do these things, you would have basically an iron red wall that the Democrat Party could never penetrate. They would never penetrate the presidency either. Now, that is not to say that the Republican Party needs to be nominated for canonization, that these people are the best people, the best we have. Currently, and I stress currently, as George Carlin would say, this is the best we can do, folks. While you're at it, pass the term limits amendment. If you're going to do the simple cloture vote, I don't know that you even need, I guess you'd have to have an amendment. You'd have to send all this as part of an Article 5. Even outside of the Article 5, though, he's right. You want to get Thomas Massey's Prime Act and you want to get it through the Senate? Revoke the cloture. Simple majority vote. You need 50 votes plus J.D. Vance to end the insanity of the USDA having to inspect all of your meat before you could sell it anywhere. It's called the Prime Act. It's Massey's Act. So I think he's correct on that. But if you really wanted to go scorched earth and you really wanted to lock these people out, do what I just said. And by the way, in 6 of those legislatures that the Republicans don't control both houses, it's a if or. There are 6 of those states where the GOP controls one or the other house. So there's only like 12 states where the Democrats have lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels on both houses of the legislature. You can't get anything done that way. You know what we should all hope for? We should start doing this, and those 12 states go like, you know what? Screw you guys. Screw you guys. I'm going ham. Cartman, you can't leave. Screw you guys. New union. Ham. And let them form a new union. Hey, we're just getting started. Why don't you play So You Think This Is Not a New Day? And again, I read you Hilaire Belloc and what he said about Islam earlier. If you missed it, the book is called The Great Heresies. Belloc said, in view of the preceding, he gave the history of Mohammedanism. Anyone with the knowledge of history is bound to ask himself whether we shall not see in the future a revival of Mohammedan political power and the renewal of the old pressure of Islam upon Christendom. We have seen now he wrote this in 1932. We have seen how the material political power of Islam declined very rapidly during the 18th and 19th centuries. We have just followed the story of that decline. When Suleiman the Magnificent was besieging Vienna, he had better artillery, better energies, and better everything than his opponents. Islam was still in the field, the material superior of Christendom. At least it was the superior in fighting power and fighting instruments. That was within a very few years of the opening of the 18th century. Then came the inexplicable decline. The religion did not decay, but its political power, and with that, its material power declined astonishingly. And in the particular businesses of arms, it declined most of all. When Dr. Johnson's father, the bookseller, was setting up business at Litchfield, the Grand Turk was still dreaded as a potential conqueror of Europe. Before Dr. Johnson was dead, no Turkish fleet. He's talking about Dr. Samuel Johnson, the author of the first dictionary. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Your education can continue when I'm not around. Dr. Johnson was dead. No Turkish fleet or army could trouble the West. Not a lifetime later, the Mohammedan in North Africa had fallen subject to the French, and those who were there, who were then young men, lived to see nearly all Mohammedan territory, except for a decaying fragment ruled from Constantinople, firmly subdued by the French and British governments. These things being so, the recrudescence of Islam, the possibility of that terror under which we lived for centuries reappearing, and of our civilization again fighting for its life against what was its chief enemy for 1,000 years seems fantastic. Who in the Mohammedan world today can manufacture and maintain the complicated instruments of modern war? Where is the political machinery whereby the religion of Islam can play an equal part in the modern world? I say the suggestion that Islam may re-arise sounds fantastic, but this is only because men are always powerfully affected by the immediate past. One might say they are blinded by it. Cultures spring from religions, and folks, look at what is happening. Moran the Magnificent, Kami Mamdani, the heir to Suleiman the Magnificent now in America, is bringing Muslim law and Muslim tradition and Muslim custom to the government of the largest city on this continent. You know, actually, how big is Mexico City? I think Mexico City may actually be population-wise larger. English-speaking city. Well, it used to be an English-speaking city. It's a Tower of Babel now in that joint. Islam owns the UK, practically. It owns its legislature. You have guilt-tripped women. You know, play the clip of the woman on the British television show again. I want to tell you what my special ops buddy sent to me. He heard me playing this earlier. He sent me a message. He goes, KingDude, that British lady still seems more worried about being labeled a racist than being murdered and her country destroyed. See if you agree with my special ops buddy.
Oh, I live in the borough right next to Hillingdon.
Yep.
And I moved into my house in 2019. My local shop, there's been 3 stabbings, 1 murder since then.
Wow.
My friend was murdered last year up on the high street. Girl I know was murdered in Southall Park. The government are failing us. I'm so scared for my children. I have a 22-year-old son, and I'm begging him to move out of the country.
Oh my goodness! I'm
22-year-old son begging him to leave the country.
What are these politicians doing to us?
Who's going to fight these
They're
people?
putting our children in so much danger. They're putting everyone in danger, and they're not doing nothing to help us.
And that's the thing. A lot of us feel. You know, how many is too many?
They're pushing us to do something that we don't want to do. We are peaceful people. British people never revolt against their government.
Yeah.
They're going to push us to it because they're not listening to us. Our friends, our family are dying. I had a cousin murdered 20 years ago who was stabbed to death, and nothing's changed, Julia.
I'm so sorry, Sarah. I'm sure I speak for everyone listening and watching right now. My heart goes out to you, and that's the reality.
I don't leave the house without a man.
You're that.
I don't leave the house without a man. Is what she said.
Everyone I know is getting stabbed.
Okay, stop the tape now. Oh, that's not going to happen in New York City, Mike. Oh, really? Play number 1. Here is who Moron, the Magnificent, thanked last night in New York City. See if you hear anything about any New Yorkers in there.
Thank you to those so often forgotten by the politics of our city who made this movement their own. I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties.
Are there any Americans? Nope, none. Are there any Americans in that coalition, or are there just Uzbeki nurses and Ethiopian aunties? You could at least have some cliched people in there. Italian spaghetti vendors, Irish drunks, bartenders. Apparently there was no room for people of European descent in Kami Mamdani's New York. My daughter and son-in-law are of European descent, and they live there. Mamdani also promised that the unions were coming, and if you own a business and you employ people in New York, you will take the knee. That control of your business is going to be transferred to the unions. And then you will be required then to be like in California. Don't worry, though. It won't affect your bottom line. You'll be required to pay a $30 minimum opening wage and what have you here. But it will all be fine. It's all for the greater good, you see.
You may not believe it, but Bram Stoker's Dracula may be a work of non-fiction.
What? That's scarier than getting stuck in an elevator with Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, good grief. Really? Come on, I'm trying to be serious here. Okay.
Hear it and other amazing tales on Turley's Believe It or Else, 10 to 11 a.m. Central, every Tuesday on the Crusade Channel. Our app and always on CrusadeChannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Hey, it's the King Dude with another free lesson in stuff you really don't need to know. Harvest was Great Britain's name for the season that follows summer until autumn began to displace it at the end of the 16th century. But English immigrants to America preferred fall to autumn. And did you know that fall is caused by the sun setting below the equator in the northern hemisphere sky, also known as the equinox, which continues south to the winter solstice. Here's another seasonal fact for you. The flag of the Sacred Heart of Jesus is also known as the Carillon de Sacre-Cœur, or the original flag of Quebec. And did you know that our Founders Trading Post is the exclusive maker and distributor of this one-of-a-kind, full-size, beautiful flag? Order a Sacred Heart flag right now and take $5 off, and I'll throw in a matching Sacred Heart flag bumper sticker for free. You know, don't cost nothing. Hurry, fall is here, and flag flying season in the north is limited. To order, go to mikechurch.com/flag or call us at 844-527-8723. The Carillon de Sacre-Cœur flag will beautify any...
Broadcasting 50,000 kilowatts from atop the tallest radio tower on the planet. We are KRSD, the Crusade Channel, Madisonville.
Well, it's what our call letters would be.
Crusade Channel News. News you can trust.
Because let's face it, the truth just sounds different. Like a symphony of facts.
And now, from the Crusade Channel News Desk, here's Janet Huxley.
Hello, Crusaders. Welcome to Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. I'm Janet Huxley, reporting for the Crusade Channel News Desk, live from the Dothan Farm and Ranch, south of Kansas City, Missouri. Today's newscast brought to you by the 2ALibertyWatchCompany.com. Watches that express your love of the Second Amendment, American liberty, and President Trump, all beautifully crafted and endorsed by Mike Church. Shop their stylish line of watches today at 2AWatchCompany.com. Here's what to listen for this hour. Abbott vows to impose a 100% tariff on anyone moving from NYC to Texas after Election Day. Supreme Court to decide on Trump's tariffs. Unhinged voicemail exposes left-wing candidate's death threats against GOP senator. And why major financial firms are expanding Texas presence beyond traditional Wall Street hub. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said he'll impose a steep tariff on New Yorkers moving to his state after voting on Election Day ends. Abbott, a Republican, made the announcement on Monday, a day before New Yorkers headed to the polls to choose a new mayor in what has been a closely watched race between Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani, a socialist, and former Governor Andrew Cuomo. After the polls close tomorrow night, I will impose a 100% tariff on anyone moving to Texas from NYC, Abbott posted on X. The Supreme Court is set to hear oral arguments today in a landmark case over the legality of President Donald Trump's global tariffs. More specifically, the justices are expected to hear two cases, Learning Resources, Inc. versus Trump and Trump versus VOS Selections, Inc. Whatever the ruling, the case could have major implications for the nation's economy and determine how much future presidents can alter trade. Republican freshman Senator Tim Sheehy of Montana was targeted with death threats and other extreme insults by a left-wing city commissioner candidate from Montana's capital city of Helena, who called his office several weeks ago to leave her thoughts on his voicemail. And you need to hear it. It's just unbelievable. The voicemail came in July, shortly after Sheehy voted with his Republican colleagues to pass the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. "This is Haley McKnight," she said. "I'm a constituent in Helena, Montana. I wanted to let you know you're the most insufferable kind of coward and thief. You just stripped away health care for 17 million Americans, and I hope you're proud of that. I hope that one day you get pancreatic cancer and it spreads throughout your body so fast they can't even treat you for it." But her anger didn't even stop there. It goes on. It's just absolutely incredible. Our quote of the day, "Stay quiet with God. Do not spend your time in useless chatter," St. Charles Borromeo. And coming up, our saint of the day, you're listening to Crusade Channel News.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for Capuchin Holy Roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com.
We honor St. Elizabeth today. St. Elizabeth comes from the Gospel, the book of Luke in particular. In Luke, Elizabeth, the daughter of the line of Aaron and wife of Zechariah, was righteous before God and blameless, but childless. Elizabeth is also cousin to the Virgin Mary. Zechariah, desiring a child, went to pray in the temple and was told by the angel Gabriel, "Do not be afraid, Zechariah. Your prayer has been heard. Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you are to call him John. He will be a joy and delight to you, and many will rejoice because of his birth, for he will be great in the sight of the Lord. He is never to take wine or other fermented drink, and he will be filled with the Holy Spirit even before he is born." Zechariah was skeptical because both himself and his wife were elderly. For his skepticism, he was rendered mute until the prophecy had been fulfilled. Elizabeth became pregnant shortly thereafter, and she rejoiced. Financial service firms have increased their presence in the state of Texas in recent years as they diversify in their strategic footprint beyond the traditional financial hub of New York City's Wall Street. Several of the nation's most prominent banks and financial institutions have built new campuses or increased their operational presence in Texas in recent years. The trend comes following many Americans' relocations during the COVID-19 pandemic away from high-tech states like New York and California to those with lower tax and regulatory burdens. The New York City mayoral election on Tuesday could factor into future decisions by financial firms regarding where to station their workforces. Critics of the policies advocated by Democratic nominee Mamdani, who identifies as a Democratic Socialist, have warned that his tax hike plans and other plans could have incentivized businesses' departures. I'm Janet Huxley for the Crusade Channel, seeking news and finding truth.
This is a pixel. I'm Groot. Now, if you put a couple of million of these guys together, you can make a sentence on an LED screen. Put a couple of billion of them together, and you can make a whole page. Put 360 billion of them, and you got Chesterton's book, Orthodoxy. But it doesn't smell like a book, and it burns teeny little holes in your cornea. So is the pixel really your friend? I'm Groot. No, but the Founders Trading Post is your friend, and we have actual books with actual smelly pages. Plus, our little bookstore has everything you'd expect. I'm Groot. Yes, Groot to the gourmet coffee, but no to the One Tree Hill sappy guitar music.
Pick up a copy of G.K. Chesterton's Orthodoxy, plus many other Chesterton titles at shop.mychurch.com. It's the WWE and the UFC for live talk radio Thursday Night Throwdown, hosted by you. Win a seat at the table, win the throwdown, and then you pick next week's topic.
Now that's real live talk radio exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Radio the way it should be.
In the era of the Biden regime, the Mike Church Show lives by the creed, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And if that doesn't work, move to Grenada.
Oh, come on, Captain. You're not the first man to get a thrill from murdering someone. I see it all the time.
Get out!
Or what? You'll kill me? Like you killed Ensign Lynch?
There was no way to save him.
You didn't even try. Where was your involved sensibility then?
I don't have time for this.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your little quest. Captain Ahab has to go hunt his whale.
This is not about revenge.
Liar!
This is about saving the future of humanity.
Jean-Luc, blow up the damn ship!
No! No! I will not sacrifice the Enterprise. We've made too many compromises already. Too many retreats. They invade our space, and we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther. And I will make them pay for what they've done.
is about. There's something evolving. Whatever may come, the world keeps revolving. They say the next big thing is here, that the revolution's near. But to me it seems quite clear that it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
You know, it's a shocking thing. If you go on X.com, you wouldn't even know that Mamdani exists. Oh, I just went to 100 and some odd recent posts. Oh, wait, there's one. Well, finally. Yeah, one person played the clip that we played earlier and goes like, "These are terrifying words. Is there nothing this guy does? Is there nothing this guy thinks his government can't solve?" You see, but this is the ruse, folks. The socialists and communists, they don't ever fix anything. You promise the sun and the moon, and then when things start to go to hell, you enact martial law and you start killing leaders, and then the trains show up to pick you up and take you out to Siberia, and then people shut up. You don't ever have to do anything. I think, though, that this is not a socialist moment. I disagree with AOC. I think that she is one of those useful idiots. She doesn't see that the commie Mamdani, that the jihadi is Takia using her and using all of the useful idiots in New Tenochtitlan City to get you to the point where, look, you don't have to have majority control to institute Sharia law. They don't have majority control in London. And yet, look, women won't leave their houses without men because they're terrified. White women are terrified of being raped, stabbed, or murdered with guns by Muslim men. Which is why it is a mistake to keep calling him, he's such a socialist. He's a Muslim, he's lying. He's practicing taqiyya. Hateful Hackle, Satan's apostle, already told this maniac he wasn't getting a middle-class tax increase because that's where all the money is. You just heard Janet Huxley talking about Greg Abbott saying that, dude, if you think you're going to flee New York and you're going to come into Texas, we are going to tariff you. You made that hell in New York, you live in it now. This is a good question, I think. And by the way, we have been under demonic assault all day. The demons did not want us going on air today. They shut all of our computers down. We were delayed getting on by about 8 minutes this morning, and we finally did. We had a problem with the play button on the site. It's working now. Everything is back to normal, but we were attacked and assaulted all morning long. Now that all the dust is settled, you can refresh your pages, and you should get your Founders Pass membership play button back. I still have Hillary Duff queued up from yesterday. And two people came to the rescue even after we had ended the show to say, no, KingDude has to come back tomorrow. It's the day after elections. That donation fund still needs an awful lot of attention. CrusadeChannel.com/donate. CrusadeChannel.com/donate. Button finger is on. Somebody was like, I actually like this Hillary Duff song that you're playing. Okay, yeah, all right. I got more. I got more that you won't like. You'll never do it. I did it like a dozen times on Sirius XM. Like hell, I won't do it. So to keep the lights on, the Ethernet going, and maybe we get some paid help around this joint. You should become a Founders Pass member, and you should make a donation to CrusadeChannel.com/donate. Play AOC. We haven't even played. We haven't even gotten a reaction yet. By the way, there was a horrible, horrible plane crash. A UPS plane apparently just exploded. It was headed with, loaded down with next day air packages and stuff, headed for Honolulu, and just exploded on the runway as I was taxiing. So it got off the ground a little bit and then just burst into flames and came back down to the ground and then skidded off the runway in a ball of flames. And looking at that ball of flames, that tells me, and I'm not an engineer or an arson inspector or anything of the sort, I don't work for the NTSB, that was fuel that ignited. And then whatever the cargo was, it was inside that plane. Because you know what? A lot of that stuff's wrapped in, what? Cardboard boxes. What's cardboard made out of? Paper. So, yeah, you had a tinderbox on that thing. And it was just, one guy was in his truck. He was loading. He was at the loading dock right next to that runway. And dude had his dashboard cam on. Just happened to be facing the right way. And the thing comes skidding off the runway about 150 yards from him and a ball of flames. And he goes, "Holy bleep! What in the bleep was that?" And then you see people running away from where the flames were. So a horrible tragedy. And it's in Louisville this morning, Louisville, Kentucky, at the airport. Play AOC. Here she is spiking MAGA heads in the end zone. And again, I think that she's a useful idiot. By the way, outside of Elon Omar, and I don't know why the Muslim men in Minneapolis are tolerating this traitor. Outside of Elon Omar, when you saw Trump at the United Arab Emirates, when you saw him at Abu Dhabi, when you saw him in Saudi Arabia, when you saw him on his Muslim country tour, did you see any women? Here's how many women I saw that had any level of power or access to it in any of those Sharia law Muslim countries.
0.0.
So, Miss Cortez, you're a useful idiot to someone who's playing tequila on you. And as soon as you become expendable, he will expend. Oh, yeah. By the way, you're raised Catholic. He's going to expect you to convert. Muslims don't play around. He's going to expect you to convert to Islam, which will then put you in a hijab, and then you'll get to find out if his auntie got treated poorly or not, because you'll get to do it firsthand. Yeah, that's coming. That's going to happen.
People who participated and were brought together by his campaign, because they were not just tasked with defeating a Republican, they were also tasked with defeating the old guard of the Democratic Party that essentially led us to many of the perils of this moment. So he had a two-front war to win, which is what makes his victory so deeply impressive. And I do think that this moment, a lot of people who are willing to talk about party unity when it serves them, but not party unity when it serves everybody, it puts those folks on notice. And I think it also puts folks on notice that we have a future to plan for. We have a future to fight for. And we're either going to do that together or you're going to be left behind. And I think that is not a partisan issue. It's not about progressive. It's not moderate. It's not liberal. This is about, do you understand the assignment of fighting fascism right now? And the assignment is to come together across difference no matter what.
Like an unveiled threat.
Is she correct, class? Class, is she right, Mr. Helper? This was about defeating the old guard Democrat Party. Gee, I wonder who that might be. We expect that Winebox Nancy Pelosi is going to hang it up there. Is going to hang the Franzia box up today. Well, the good news is that she didn't have to hide it anymore, so she can graduate to bottled wine. So that's a win for her. Schumer's out. This is Schumer's shutdown. Schumer's done. You can just hand now. And by the way, I do not believe that the Republican Party of New York is to be trusted or realizes what they have just allowed to happen. Because you had Curtis Sliwa. How many times has he lost? Look, in New Jersey, you just the stupid party. You ran Jack Ciartarelli. Twice Ciartarelli lost. And by the way, lost to women. This is the revenge of the leftard Karen. You have a Karen running Virginia now, a Karen running New Jersey now, and Soleimani the Magnificent running New York. If you live on the East Coast, oh, brother. Oh, wait a minute. AOC's not done with her rant. Now, by the way, this is only a loss of one seat because Glenn Youngkin was the only R that was elected that was unelected yesterday. You can only be Virginia governor for 2 years. Maybe next time a Republican, if it ever happens again, is elected governor of Virginia, maybe you should amend the Constitution. And you should change that. One more. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Number 7. This is, Trump can threaten us all he wants. We're not afraid. Bring it, Trump.
Has long threatened to pull funding from this city. We know that there's a plan to bring more ICE agents here soon. And he's been very clear about the fact. He endorsed Cuomo last night in the 11th hour. Are you at all afraid of what that fight is going to look like in the coming weeks? Do you think Mamdani is ready to take on President Trump?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. President Trump is a 34-time convicted felon, and he is endorsing a sexual harasser that has multiple accusations, very credible accusations and investigations against them. Birds of a feather, they flock together, and we have to understand how grave this threat is. We know that
the brilliance
Donald
of the
Trump,
pros!
Has not only been convicted of committing crimes, but that the Supreme Court has given him a blank check to continue to commit crimes while in office. So we cannot underestimate the threat and the danger of this moment, but we cannot respond to that threat with cowardice. We cannot respond to that threat with complying in advance. We have to respond to that threat with a strong, organized, cohesive, and strategic effort to fight for working families, rule of law, and civil rights for every American across age, ethnicity, gender, and geography. And I believe that we can do that.
What? How would you know if you were fighting the English army prior to this modern era? Asking, oh, by the way, I still see zero. Not a single donation today.
Zero.
Through all the troubles that we managed to get on air, I got it queued up. You people think I'm kidding. I'll walk out of here right now.
Hey now.
I will leave. Maggie's got work to do. We gone.
Hey now. Have you ever seen such a beautiful?
Hillary Duff is queued and ready. I have 11 more ready to go. Kills the top of the hour. I'll tell Magdalene she's got the day off. We'll try and fund our little enterprise tomorrow. If that's how you guys want to play. As you all tuned in, dozens and dozens and hundreds more than usually do, because I have to hear what the King Dude has to say. Well, you know what? I work for tips. No tips, no talk. Simple as that. CrusadeChannel.com/donate. You know what you hear when you suffer through and hear Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? Back to my question. How would you know you were fighting the English army? Go back to John Lennon's song, The Day in the Life. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry about that. That was an accident, but it was a good one. Fingers on the trigger. Go back to the song. I read the news today. Oh, boy, the English army had just won the war. How would you know that you were fighting the English army? There's a couple of different ways. Number one, you would see the flag, the Union Jack. Number two, they kind of looked the same. They looked English. What is the point of having a country if you can't define the people of it? You listen to Mamdani and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's definition. There is no definition. The more scattershot, the more Babylon you can bring in, the better off you are. That does not work in the real world. There is no country on earth that was ever assembled and remained successful without being a country that had things that identified it. It's called culture or tradition. Tradition. You go to New York City today, I can tell you, I've been in the last 9 months. You don't know what language these people speak. They sure as hell don't speak English. You don't know which cab driver, depending on which Uber driver you get. One guy may be a guy that's going to make you sweat it out in 95 degrees because he won't turn the AC on. And you get in and you go, oh, dude, just stop. I got out of the way. Stop. Let me out. Just let me out. I'll call another one. We're going to have these people in there. We're going to have all these different coalitions, the different... Used to be that people got together and were united behind things that were kind of like uniquely American. Like here in Louisiana, I saw the most amazing little statement yesterday from a former LSU football player. Maggie, you can look this up so you can put it in the chat room. Jacob Hester. Somebody was saying, well, LSU football program is just any other football program. You guys need to shut up and stop talking about it like it's some big deal or whatever. And Jacob Hester goes on there, who played fullback at LSU, and he got drafted by the San Diego. As a matter of fact, he played with Drew Brees when Brees was in San Diego. And Jacob Hester goes like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Let me tell you something. LSU is a thing. The lights, Baton Rouge, the culture, the food, the fans, Death Valley. It's not just something. Now, I bring that up because, okay, well, then it sounds like it's identifiable. So how are you going to identify a New Yorker now or a Democrat? These people are going at light speed towards becoming a political party that is a tower, literally a Tower of Babel. And by the by, one more note on this disaster in Virginia last night with the thrice conspiring murderer, which would make him a mass murderer, Jay Johnson, landslide beating his Republican opponent. How did that happen? Winsome Earl Sears got beat 58-42. Who's choosing all of these candidates in these borderline purple states that keep getting their A's kicked? Who told Carrie Lake to run twice and get beat twice? Who told Jack Ciardarelli to run for a third time for a state office and lose? Who told Winsome Earl Sears? No, I like Winsome Earl Sears as a person. I watched a couple of her campaign appearances and stuff, and I go, I don't know that I would vote for her. She didn't really tell me anything other than she was a former Haitian and a Marine. If you're going to play this game of politics, you need to start fielding candidates. These people are called candidates. The stupid party keeps picking stupid, ridiculous candidates. And then you got this one. Play the woman that was on CNN last night. She was the only one that made any sense. Representative Nicole Malliotakis. That's number 14. Are we going to play the clip or are we playing Hillary Duff? Okay, all right. All right. I am rapid firing. It's coming up on the 10th anniversary. No one's excited about it. Can't get enough money to pay the Ethernet bill around this joint. Other than she was a former Haitian.
Oh, wait.
It sounds like... Oh.
Oh, good grief.
So I guess the play buttons are working now, huh? So can we report back? While she looks for that, I should refresh the program and say you should go to read. Now, we have the book. It's from Ignatius Press. I can get more copies. Everyone ought to read Hilary Bedlock's book on the Great Heresies, but you can read the chapter on Islam at EWTN for free. They got it. All right, here's the clip.
The story for tonight is actually that the Socialist Party is taking over the Democrat Party. And you know what? It was Andrew Cuomo. It was Kathy Hochul. It were the Democrats that were so afraid of their shadow, so afraid of the radical left. People like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez kept moving to satisfy them, and now they've been eaten alive. So this is a lesson for the Democrat Party. They should have fought for their party. They never fought for their party. They catered to the radical left, and now we're going to see. By the way, for people who think that they're voting for affordability here with Mamdani, a guy who believes in socialism, we're going to learn the hard way in New York City what socialism is. Your taxes will go up, and if you pay property taxes, you won't be able to afford to live in your home. And if you guess what you rent, it's going to be passed on to you in the form of your rent. Yeah. Mandates, fees, regulations, surcharges. We've seen it in this state, in this city, under one-party rule for the last decade. It costs money. It gets passed on to you. So if you think you're going to get a free ride with Mamdani, you're going to learn the hard way.
That's why the answer to it.
Well, let me tell you what's going to happen is that whoever manages it, the MTA, whoever like Ralph Cramden used to drive, be a bus driver in New York, whoever the modern day Ralph Cramdens are, they're not going to work for free. You stop paying fares, and they don't have any money. They have none. It'll be like air traffic controllers, and Trump won't order them back to work.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Silk Feather. Ma'am, what would you like to drink?
Oh, I'll take the Dom Perignon, of course.
Ah, the lady has taste. And you, sir?
I'll just take the Diet Coke.
Oh, dear.
You know, what I miss about the good old days before social media and AI ruined everything?
Let me guess. No fat people outside of the circus, and Ozempic was the name of the demon in C.S. Lewis story, right?
Well, yeah, but besides that, classic radio shows with actors and actual stories.
Well, lucky for the human race, the Crusade Channel is rolling over 900 episodes of a show called Suspense.
Tweak your mystery-solving muscles over lunch and catch episodes of Suspense, weekdays noon till 2 on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and classic radio the way it should be.
I like my version of suspense. Hey!
Doesn't work without me.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Channel News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Wednesday, November the 5th, 2025. This report is brought to you by the 2ALibertyWatchCompany.com. Watches that express your love of the Second Amendment, American liberty, and President Trump. All beautifully crafted and endorsed by Mike Church. Shop their stylish line of watches today at 2AWatchCompany.com. In the market report, the Dow was down 0.53% and the S&P dropped 1.17%. NASDAQ plummeted 2.04%. Today is National Love Your Red Hair Day, and it's Stress Awareness Day. Once we begin to identify the causes of stress in our lives, we can begin to eliminate or reduce stress. Some tools to help with stress include developing coping skills, identifying and letting go of the things you can't change, exercising, and of course, eating a balanced diet that fuels your body so you're better able to cope with stress. But you know what? Today is also National Donut Day. History disputes the origin of the donut, but one theory suggests Dutch settlers brought donuts to North America, much like they brought other traditional American desserts, like apple pie and cream pie and cobbler. Our quote of the day: "Stay quiet with God. Do not spend your time in useless chatter." St. Charles Borromeo. And our saint of the day is St. Elizabeth. You're listening to Crusade Channel News.
Have you ever dreamed of being like Brian Kay or Mitter Monday and being a free Farm Friday star? But you know you have no shot at it because you can't tell the difference between a U and a Y-O-U. Well, lucky for you, we have an entire bookstore filled with the books you need to become so passionate for farming, you'll soon be wearing a Brian Kay Calls Me for Advice t-shirt. So learn to grow by growing your library with books by shopping at shop.mikechurch.com.
MikeChurch.com.
And now, an exclusive behind-the-scenes look into the Mike Church Show.
You see, what I think we need are new imaging commercials, Jim. Can you help and give me some ad-lib imaging lines we can use to, attract some new subscribers?
Okay, Oh, I know. If there's nothing else to do, listen to the Mike Church Show now.
Dude.
Or no. How about
Dude.
Mike Church and Lee are really smart?
Jim,
So tune in.
Enough! Okay, Lee, you're in.
Coming, Coach.
Now entering the game, number 11, Trader Jill Lee.
If only there were backups in real life.
Okay, King Dude. What MAGA moms want to hear on the radio is how their sons can become productive, strong men, and how their daughters cannot be killed on trains by the lunatic criminals paroled by radical leftist judges.
Right? That's a good one, Lee. Hey, Jim, how about some Gatorade for Lee?
Okay.
Thanks, Coach. I'm really working up a sweat here. Okay, how about making a spot about the new app? It's so easy, even a boomer can use it.
Perfect. I know just the boomer. Hey, Jim, where's that Gatorade, bro?
My debit card's stuck in the machine again. From boomers to zoomers, the Mike Church Show is America's morning show. Weekdays, 7 to 11 a.m., exclusively on the Crusade Channel app and CrusadeChannel.com. He's the non-Bud Light beer drinkers talk radio show of choice. It's microbrew talk for the macro brain MAGA faithful. The Mike Church Show is on the Crusade Radio Network.
That's coming aboard the freight train of truth is leaving MAGA Station. The only man standing in real opposition is Moron the Magnificent. Sharia law, the Caliphate has come to America, you people. It was only a matter of time before the Muslim Mohammedans figured out that these people are stupid and they're pushovers. How many of you remember back in the day, 2 years ago, when we were talking about all of the Muslim jihadis on the terror watch list that the Biden regime was sneaking into the United States? Check it. That wasn't sneaking in. They were doing it in broad daylight. They didn't care. Many of them were what? Young men of fighting age. Where did they all go? Well, we know that a bunch of them wound up in New Tenochtitlan City, didn't we? Who is it that Holman and the ICE agents have been principally after? Well, the people that are on terror watch lists and the criminals. So if you were one of them, who would you trust to protect you now? Fat Boy Pritzker or Moron the Magnificent, the committed Caliphate jihadi? Can anyone fathom that it was a mere, today is November the 5th, remember the 5th of November. Can anyone fathom that a mere, 14 years and 55 days ago, the city of New York was attacked by Muslim jihadi lunatics trying to start the caliphate. Here in the United States, they flew planes into tall buildings. The rest, as you know, is history. There was a war in Iraq and Afghanistan. The United States blew $2 trillion, created a super spy fair state, all to spy on us. And all the while, we were told we had to go and fight them over there so they wouldn't have to be fought over here. Am I the only one that remembers that? Am I the only one that remembers people like Dick Cheney making that case, and every neocon that was alive then and is still alive today? Well, we fought them over there. Now they're the mayor of New York. Now they're members of Congress from Minneapolis. Now they're the attorney general of the formerly great state of Minnesota. Now they're in political offices. Now they're the mayor of Dearbornistan, who's telling white people, Christians who live in Dearbornistan, you're not Muslim enough. Get out. I don't want you living in my city, Christian. We've been playing the clip all day long of the woman from England crying into her weak tea that she can't leave her house any longer because jihadi Muslim young men and older men will kill her or rape her. You have been hearing that we have been reliving through the writings of Hilary Belloc and the great heresy that was Mohammedanism. We have been hearing about exactly what the Caliphate did. You know, you cannot ignore these things. We played you the imam in Australia. It's going like, you can pull the drawbridge up, power. We're here now. And there is no stopping us. You will assimilate. This is like the Borg. And all of Christendom was warned time and time and time again. The only thing that spared you from speaking Farsi and paying the jizya and your children's being impressed into slavery and becoming janissaries, fodder for future Muslim military conquest. The only thing that saved you was Mary. Yet we have modern American men that want to fight me or Michael Hitchborn if I even say that Mary is the co-redemptrix. They're more concerned about me and Our Lady and our relationship and her relationship to Salvation Economy than they are about Muslims invading their own union of states. Here's a question. Who do you shoot first? Me, the Catholic who will not stop his devotion to the mother of our Redeemer, or the Mohammedan? Who's more dangerous? Seems to me, if I'm reading between some of the social media lines correctly, seems to me that us, you idolaters. I'm not an idolater. You see how the demons work? Let's get us all separated and warring with each other and not worrying about the Mohammedan invasion. John Daniel Davidson has this at the... Did you print it out? You might have. Did you do John Daniel today? I did not. Here's one. Submission to Islamism. Christmas market in Overath is canceled. In the German town of Overath, this year's Christmas market has been canceled. The cost of protecting visitors from potential terrorist attacks exceeds the organizer's budget. The city refuses to cover the expenses, a capitulation to Islam. But don't worry, I'm sure that Mamdani will light the Christ tree right alongside Ben Shapiro and Rockefeller Center in 3 weeks. Oh, I'm sure he'll be there and he'll call it a Christmas tree too. Sure he will. Oh, can't wait for that one, New York. I'm sure that Mr. Macy's heirs are going to be informed that the Macy's parade must be free of any mention of the reason for the season I am certain that the city's budget, well, now that you got to pay bus drivers who the fares are going to be canceled, that whatever the city's budget was for Christmas decorations is going to get axed. We'll celebrate Christian around here. We have Moron, the Magnificent, and the new Caliphate, and new Tenochtitlan City. John Daniel Davidson, I believe, at thefederalist.com has put his finger on this. And he says, well, there's a couple of pieces at the Federalist. Dems election day sweep is not a harbinger. It's a wake-up call for the grand old stupid party. By the way, female turnout won Mamdani. Female turnout, Karens, won New Jersey, and female turnout won Pennsylvania. The men are still asleep. The strong Republican men are still napping, still don't think that it's their duty to stop this madness and these women and this Muslim lunatic. Trump was able to animate them to get them to the polls. Supreme Court justices, nah. Bad candidates for governor in both states, nah, not interested. So John Daniel, they did his piece again. His piece, it's off the front page, and I'll never find it. Wait a minute. No, here it is. The attacks on Heritage and Kevin Roberts are really about foreign policy and J.D. Vance. Wait a minute. John Daniel, you and I are in sync, as usual. It's exactly what I was talking about. And then he goes on to say, like, they're trying to kill MAGA here. They want the neocons. They want Ben Shapiro's neocons to get in there and take back over. And then we can be the war party again. Let me tell you something. You're not going to have to worry about going out to fight Muslims in foreign lands. And very long, if this insanity isn't stopped. How many are already here? That's my question. Let's get something straight, John Daniel said, about the Civil War breaking out on the right. It's not primarily about Tucker Carlson platforming or normalizing Nick Fuentes, or about the Heritage Foundation President Kevin Roberts' decision to defend Carlson. Primary target here isn't Carlson or Roberts. It's Vance. And the people targeting him are never Trump foreign policy interventionists who hope to destroy the MAGA movement and take back control of the Republican Party after Trump is gone. Genuine concern about Carlson interviewing Fuentes and about the kind of anti-Semitism that Fuentes and his followers espouse is being hijacked to wage exactly what I told you. This is just the way that you get in. Is being hijacked to wage a proxy war on Vance because of his America First non-interventionist foreign policy views. The idea is to smear Vance as the dangerous anti-Semite. And by the way, your boy, Nick Fuentes, ain't doing anything to stop the smearing of J.D. Vance. Not only is he enabling it, so those of you that go like, you need to leave Fuentes alone, and what about your controlled opposition much? If J.D. Vance is on the docket or a potential for 2028, and Fuentes is saying that he can't be trusted because he knows homos, and he married, what does he call beautiful Usha? A Jeet? Same thing as calling a black person a N-word, right? What does that do for the Vance candidacy? Does it turn those young men that Magdalene Rose has turned out in spades for Donald Trump? Does it turn them against Vance because he was a Silicon Valley guy and because he was business mentored by Peter Thiel? I don't know anything about Peter Thiel, but all I got to do is say Peter Thiel, and it will erupt. The Signal chat room will erupt in outrage. The Crusader Stadium will erupt in outrage. They said Peter Thiel. Apparently, Peter Thiel, I'm trying to think of the arch villain. Is he Blofeld? I don't know. Is he Blofeld? That's a James Bond villain. Is he Simon Legree? No, he's worse than Simon Legree. Teal is... Who was the last... Okay. Who was the villain in the last James Bond movie that was going to kill everyone with the vaccine? And Bond. James Bond. And Daniel Craig figures it out and basically gives his own life up to save the day and the world from being like poisoned or permanently damaged by the vaccine that was going out in hundreds and hundreds of millions of doses.
The sterilization vaccine?
Yeah, the sterilization. Was it the dude that played Franz Jägerstatter in The Quiet Life?
It's Ernst. What's his name?
I think it was. No, they kind of look similar. I think he was a villain in another Bond movie.
Christoph Waltz?
No, okay, Christoph Waltz. We know who that is. Was he? He was. It's just been a couple of years since I saw it. It doesn't matter. Whoever it was. Well, apparently Peter Thiel is all of them. Plus, he is apparently a necromancer, a Satanist. He's a homo. I don't. Are there any knocks that I left out? Magdalene, is there anything else about Peter Thiel that I left out about his badness and his evilness that I should throw into the pot?
Well, I think one of the main things is that he did handpick J.D. Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy. So to me, I think that that's an indicator that it could be a problem down the road if he has that much influence.
Now, we actually have Vivek Magaswamy, don't we, Maggie? You have Vivek on the cut sheet today. What did he say? Number 8. Speaking of Vivek Magaswamy. Okay.
Our ass is handed to us in New Jersey, Virginia, and New York City. Democrats swept all 3. There's 2 key lessons for Republicans. Listen carefully. Number 1, our side needs to focus on affordability. Make the American dream affordable. Bring down costs, electric costs, grocery costs, healthcare costs, and housing costs, and lay out how we're going to do it. And number 2, cut out the identity politics. It doesn't suit Republicans. It's not for us. That's the woke left's game, not ours. We don't care about the color of your skin or your religion. We care about the content of your character. That's who we are.
This is just... It makes you wonder what happened to Vivek. Because he kind of just got MAGA like Trump went, okay, enough of you. Just kind of bumped him off the stage, never to be seen from again.
Well, Vivek, honestly, I mean, there are some things he's right about. His bigger message gets muddled here. He's been talking a lot about how things are too identity-driven, and I take that to mean that we're breaking people up into too many categories. When Vivek was on the campaign show with Trump, he was able to tell Trump to focus on the economy, to focus on issues that were on the kitchen table. That has all disappeared. You and I have discussed the lack of domestic focus. So while Vivek to me is a mess, I understand his broader point.
But he ran. You're talking about a former candidate. Is he still running for governor of Ohio?
Yeah, he's still in the mix.
Is he doing? I haven't been following the race. He's
doing well.
He's doing well. Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's probably going to be the next governor of Ohio. Like, in a strange turn of events, him being booted from the Trump administration is going to get him one of the most high-profile governorships that you can get in Republican politics.
So now Vivek is not a Muslim. What is he? He's a Hindu, isn't he? Or is he a Buddhist?
Yes.
He's a Hindu. He's a Hindu. So, so do the Hindus play nice with the Muslims? I wonder this. Okay, you were one of the people that actually called and said that Magaswamy, I'm sorry, Moron the Magnificent would win New York City last night. I thought it would go to a runoff. I was mistaken. Now that Mamdani is he is the mayor. If we listen to his acceptance speech, He mentioned all manner of people, but none of them were Americans.
No, none of them were. He got over 500,000 votes in the primary. And to me, that was an indicator of massive energy. To get over 500,000 votes in that primary, that's historic. He's now crossed 1.1 million votes in this general election in New York. He has people behind him. Like, this is legitimately where Democrats are. If you ask them and they're honest with you, they want socialism. And in 2016, when they took the nomination away from Bernie Sanders and gave it to Hillary Clinton, they've been on borrowed time in the moderate wing since then. Democrats want socialism. They want money. They want a lot of money. They want to live like people in Europe live. He's going to give that to them, or he says he is. And to me, that is the future of the Democrat Party, and there's nobody who can stop him.
Play Scott Jennings here because I missed this part. Apparently, Mamdani quoted Eugene Debs. If you don't know who Eugene Debs was the Socialist Party candidate for the presidency of the United States in 32, 28, 24, 20, 1916 and 1920. In 1916, Debs had to run from a prison cell because Wilson had him imprisoned for sedition. Because he was opposing our entry into the big war, the Great War, World War I. So apparently Mamdani started by quoting Debs. I didn't hear it. Here's Scott Jennings' take.
Scott?
Oh, are you saying he wasn't the unifying voice of a generation that you predicted mere moments ago? Axe, where was the man that you predicted would not slice and dice the? Look, guys, he started his speech by quoting Eugene Debs, who ran for president of the United States 5 times as the Socialist Party of America candidate. He repeatedly attacked people in this. No, I know my socialists. I keep a close eye on them. I work here. So here's the thing. He went after everybody that he thinks is a problem. People who own things, people who have businesses. He said an interesting quote, no problem too large for government to solve.
Or too small, important.
And so when you think of the world that way, that every problem, no matter how small or how large, is something for government to do, let me just decipher this for you. Tax increases as far as the eye can see, which means the people who need to provide jobs to the young people that you say need jobs are going to flee as quickly as they possibly can. I think this was a divisive speech, and he clearly sees the world in terms of the people who are oppressing you and the oppressed, and he said the oppressed are now in City Hall.
The oppressed are now in City Hall, and I wasn't the only one that picked up on it. I'm like, dude, a unifier? This guy's out there talking about people from Yemeni, grandmothers from Mexico. Here's the list. Senegalese taxi drivers. How many people can even find Senegal on a map? Apparently, they have taken up and make up armies of non-English speaking and non-assimilating people that live on Manhattan Island. Ethiopian aunties, Trinidadian line cooks, Uzbekian nurses. Well, everybody knows and everybody needs an Uzbekian nurse every now and then. Can't find Uzbekistan on a map either. Senegalese drivers, Yemeni bodega owners, and Mexican abuelas. Apparently that's a Mexican grandmas. And that's when Scott Jennings was going like, wait a minute, now you told me he was a great unifier. He's going to bring everyone together. I'd have to even say that, throw props out and give Barry Obama credit, at least in the Obama speech where he brought the roof down in June of 2008 when Hillary finally dropped out and he secured the nomination. At least he kind of thanked Americans. There was no, I am inspired by George Washington. Instead, he was inspired by Nehru.
And it's only going to get worse. This is a massive problem. When Democrats were saying that Mamdani was going to be some unifying factor, Mamdani never agreed to that. I mean, this was the sort of cognitive dissonance that was strange. Jessica Tarlov and other Democrats would be like, he's going to be a unifying force, going to bring together coalitions. And he was like, no, I'm a democratic socialist and I don't really care about Native Americans. And Native Americans meaning people native to America. This is the issue here. Mamdani is the future. And then on the Republican side, we just got knocked out last night. We lost races we've held for 20 years in Georgia last night on local levels. So obviously, Democrats are running with a socialist economic policy. And Republicans, and you've mentioned this as well, there's been no focus on domestic issues. Everything can't be about the Middle East because Americans don't care about that.
Well, everything can't be about foreign affairs, and everything can't be about foreign policy. You know, they're all after Trump now because he made the deal with Xi. You know, I saw a bunch of people sniping at him yesterday. He has cemented now Chinese foreign policy world. Now he's handed the future to the Chinese now with the deal that he made with China. And I must say that I really didn't look that deeply into it, and I remain a little bit confused about it because he said that he cut the tariff in half and that he would cut the rest of the tariff. Now, I thought he was talking about a specific tariff. I didn't think that he was talking about all tariffs because you're not going to have the semiconductor industry and all those other ones are not going to come back to the United States unless you had the tariffs on Chinese electronics. If the tariffs aren't there, that's just the way it is. Then all of that money that he was talking about being invested. So I may be a little bit confused about this. Maybe you have some clarity on it. But I hope he's done traveling the world. All right, great. You're a peacemaker. Fine. Blessed are the peacemakers. We all get it. Now deal with the domestic crap. Make America great again, damn it.
Well, that's very much the truth. And we spoke about I understand the focus on the wars. I get it. I understand that Biden plunged the world through inaction into chaos. But the other side of that is that Biden also plunged America into severe economic issues. Health insurance is a mess right now. It's a disaster. And people are being affected by the government shutdown. Not at the level Democrats are saying, but I know people who have had issues with health insurance coverage, have had issues with getting people on the phone from the government because there's understaffing now. This is a problem. And when you see Republicans come out now and they're like, well, we don't really know what happened. I know what happened. I know that you did nothing for 9 months about anything domestic whatsoever, and you instead focused entirely on world affairs. That's never been done. People don't do that if they want to win elections. Everyone knows that. So now that Trump is in this place where he's presided over, and I put him as presided because he's the head of the party, over a series of failed elections, I hope there's at least a little bit of a shift, because if not, midterms are going to be a bloodbath.
Well, I tell you, the faux pas for the day just continue to pile up. I still don't think that the Democrat Party has a grip on any of this. This is just the stupid party just being stupid. And that's what it is. It's just stupidity. Okay, all the eggs have been put into the shutdown basket. The dirty little secret is, well, this is Biden's CR. It has a lot of Biden crap in it. You say it's a clean one, but it's just an extension of the previous one. Like Thomas Massey said, what they're going to do is they're going to give you a CR, and they're going to say we're going to fix it in December. Well, I don't know. They're going to fix it in December. You have entire agencies now, and entire swaths of the government that have been closed down, and most people aren't missing this. I think that the fear of government services being curtailed, as you go through this enough, is beginning to wane. So I don't... Is there going to be any courage or bravery coming out of these people to say that the Democrats are serious and they're not going to go softly into that good night, and they will nominate people that will talk about murdering us, and they don't care? And guess what? Democrat voters will vote for the murderers. That's the shocker.
They did, and they don't care. And it's never something that gets addressed or changed whatsoever. It is over and over and over again. And now you look at races like Virginia. So Abigail Spanberger in particular really frustrates me, because I remember living in Virginia in 2019, and it was very clear that this woman was on track to governor. Like, it just was. She was winning everything. She was also being tapped to help Democrats in tough races on a strategic level. And I remember saying then, like, somebody has to get involved in this. If to run someone really great against her, she's going to be governor of Virginia and possibly a VP candidate in a future race. So how was I seeing that in 2019? And no one at the RNC, it seems, because she's never really been objected to. was able to get involved in this? Why was nobody in the RNC in 2019 forward able to say, hey, Abigail Spanberger is a real problem, let's run a super strong candidate? I've tracked her political evolution since then. There's been no objection to her. And then we run Winsome Sears. And I will tell you, I think Winsome Sears very much so was run because she's a black woman and people wanted her to be elected. That's what I saw, and it was very disappointing.
Again, Winsome Sears is just like another Carrie Lake. Whoever's making these decisions is stupid. Now, let's go back to Mamdani for just a moment here. I was making a comparison between Mamdani and Obama 2008. This is what Obama sounded like in his moment where Hillary, it was this night, June, actually have the date. It was June the 8th, 2008. When Hillary finally admitted that she couldn't win the Democrat nomination and Obama was going to win it, and he gave this is the end of his speech.
I face this challenge with profound humility and knowledge of my own limitations, but I also face it with limitless faith in the capacity of the American people. Because if we are willing to work for it, and fight for it and believe in it, then I am absolutely certain that generations from now, we will be able to look back and tell our children that this was the moment when we began to provide care for the sick and good jobs to the jobless. This was the moment when the rise of the oceans began to slow and our planet began to heal. This was the moment when we ended a war and secured our nation and restored our image as the last best hope on earth. This was the moment. This was the time when we came together to remake this great nation so that it may always reflect our very best selves and our highest ideals.
That's not the speech that Mamdani gave last night. Just as a little bit of a comparison there, at least Obama snuck the word American in.
Yeah, well, Obama was cosplaying as a uniter, much more so. And this is sort of my frustration here. Mamdani has never said he's a uniter in any way that we should take seriously. He has made it extremely clear from start to finish that he's a democratic socialist. And yet, I think we still, on some level, expected, I mean, you and I didn't, but others did, that he would be some great uniter in chief, that he would take care of it. He's not going to do any of that. He wants radical change. And for years, we've heard this sort of adage that young people in their 40s, they want to live in a system like they have in Europe, where you have endless social funding. They don't realize that that means you give up control of your nation and can be invaded one Tuesday because you did that. But that's what they want. First, it's a governor's race. They will take the governorship of New York. They will do it. They have to find the right candidate. It should be somebody older, possibly a woman as well, but they will find it. They take the governorship of New York. They will then branch off into New England states, and they will corner the Northeast. When that happens, what's the Republican objection? We still don't like him? Like, that's not an objection. That's just a statement.
They have most of the New England and the Northeast now. It was a good thing, I think, that you had elections and an off year a year before the midterms. So then you could see, well, and from a national standpoint, the Democrats now have the ability to go out and say, hey, we can still win elections. Keep throwing money at us. That's the big win last night. We still have a superstructure. We still can get the vote out. We can still run ads. We can still destroy people's lives and do it through politics. And you should throw money at and help us destroy people's lives. So they actually have a fundraising platform now. What's the Republican Party going to raise funds on?
Well, we have Win Red. We have all of that, but I don't think in general there's a policy platform. I don't think that we have a particularly great built-out social strategy. And I will say this, I know no one's allowed to criticize Scott Pressler and his get-out-the-vote machine, but we have now seen evidence in multiple races, in Jersey, Virginia, there have been special elections in Pennsylvania, where he has been tasked with the outreach and get-out-the-vote operation by the RNC. And people give him millions of dollars, and we keep losing. So So I don't know if he needs new people. I don't know what the problem is, but I'm a little tired of hearing how great Scott Presler is. Every race he's involved in, we have lost massively.
Well, I want to know in Pennsylvania, where was Cliff Maloney involved in these judicial races? If he was, I didn't see that he was. Was he?
No. Well, he posted. I got emails from being on his email list about it. I got notices that they were fundraising for it. But I have friends and family in Pennsylvania. I asked a lot of people, do you see this great effort for these races? No, we see nothing. We don't even see yard signs. Something is going on with the Maloney and the Scott Presler enterprises, where they're being given millions of dollars and we're losing everything.
I don't even want to play some of the rest of them. Again, I just have to say that it seems to me that this is entirely a situation that the stupid party has the ability to win. All right, here, before, I was going to play Marjorie Taylor Greene from The View, because it's just fun to listen to. Would you tell John Thune, if you're on his staff, you know the president's right, you ought to nuke the filibuster, because if they get the Senate back, they're going to do it, and they're going to kill you? That's a question.
Oh, I thought we were waiting for a clip. I think that the Senate is a big issue overall. And we look at the Senate and we look at what's going to happen there. The states that are coming up is not a super favorable map to Republicans. It's not a map that brings in a lot of inspiration. And then you look at the person in charge of the Senate election campaigns is Tim Scott from South Carolina. If Tim Scott is overseeing things, do you really believe that populist MAGA-centered candidates are going to get a lot of funding? Or is it going to be the neocon Bush era?
You're saying that Tim Scott is in trouble?
No, he's in charge of it. He's in charge of the entire fundraising and the allocation of money for the Senate candidates on our side.
And again, whoever was responsible for electing Trump ought to be running these elections. And that was Whatley and Lara Trump. Lara Trump is more concerned with talking to the echo chamber on Fox News now than she is about making America great again and about the Trump legacy, which I think is just complete and total. Talk about a bad call. That might be the worst call in Trump family history. To me, that's just low-hanging fruit, and that's just stupid.
Well, it is. And the makeup of the RNC right now, I know we're supposed to marvel at the genius of it and everything. I don't marvel at it. I see the RNC giving a lot of power to smaller organizations, like Scott Presler's organization, even Turning Point. And we keep getting no pull out from that. We're not getting anything good from it. We keep seeing all these get out the vote efforts, and they're not happening. And a lot of times with Turning Point as well, we are told that they've mobilized and brought people to college campuses. Well, that didn't happen in Virginia, because something happened in Virginia, and I think that Turning Point a lot of the times expected Liberty University to utilize their call list, their volunteers. With Liberty kind of removed from politics since the Jerry Falwell scandal, that has diminished, and I think Turning Point wasn't ready for that.
Turning Point could never prepare for their CEO and their boss and their intellectual and spiritual leader to be murdered. There's no contingency plan for that. There really isn't. It'd be like Trump. It'd be the same thing for Trump International. You can't. You prepare for that. You have a sale. You get rid of it. Everybody goes on and does something else. Maggie, can you play? I guess number 16, Marjorie Taylor Greene from yesterday. She was on The View. Surprisingly, she didn't get beaten up. Nobody bit her. No tomatoes or anything thrown her away, et cetera, et cetera. She survived, in other words.
It's ridiculous, honestly.
You're saying her appearance was ridiculous? Absolutely. Well, you put it on the cut sheet, right?
I put it on the cut sheet because I'm sure people were talking about it.
Okay.
Do you think it's a good idea for the military to be marching into our cities and towns right now because maybe people don't like the speech that they're hearing? How do we combat that and get back to going after the people who really are the problems?
Well, you know, on speech, free speech, I want to say that I think that all of us right here are doing a great job of exchanging our ideas and things that we believe in, and we're doing it in a very professional and kind way. And in my opinion, I think we need more of that in America. I really do. And a lot of people wanted me to come on the show and say nasty things and you know, all of us to fight. They wanted all of us to fight.
Thank you for not doing that.
Oh my goodness, no. I didn't want to.
No, I agree with her.
It's like 5-1.
But they still are, you know.
She could handle it, but she didn't want to.
No, I didn't want to do that today because I believe that people with powerful voices like myself and like you, and especially women to women, we need to pave a new path. This country, our beautiful country, our red, white, and blue flag is just being ripped to shreds, and I think it takes women of maturity to sew it.
You hate her that much. You didn't like that soundbite. It takes women to sew the flag. All right, play the next one then about the influencers. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene. I thought I said it was Marjorie Taylor. I know I said it was Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I think there's a lot of paid social media influencers.
No.
And I found it very interesting that they were the MAGA accounts, but they're all paid, and they all attacked me when I announced I was coming to join you ladies on The View. And I think that's very weak and pathetic. But when I talk about weak Republican men, I'm pretty much talking oftentimes about the leadership in the House and the Senate, and they're not getting our agenda done.
So there she is. So the paid MAGA influencers, I guess just got served another notice. But Marjorie Taylor Greene's star has fallen. You don't see her on Fox News anymore. And you know what? I think I'm okay with that because I see Nancy Mace out there. Nancy Mace is just an embarrassment now.
Yeah. No, she is. She's a mess. She's been a mess for years. And AOC did an Instagram or a Twitter Live, I don't know which one, and she was talking about sort of the behind-the-scenes gossip about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she said she wanted to run for Senate in Georgia. I'm not sure which election cycle this would have been, but it was fairly recent. And Trump said to her, "You're not running for Senate in Georgia. You can't win, and I won't back you. And it'll be humiliating to everybody." And because of that, she decided to go on this anti-MAGA tour to try to find a new audience for her. But this is, I think Trump is right. I don't think she could have won a Senate campaign across the board in Georgia. I don't think she has statewide acceptability like that. Trump knew that as well. Since then, she's been aligning with Matt Gaetz and with the entirety of sort of like the sort of fringe MAGA world that's mad at Trump for a variety of things. I don't know what her ultimate goal is, but if she has the example of Liz Cheney to draw from, I don't know why she would go down this path.
Welcome to another episode of Fringe MAGA World, starring Marjorie Taylor Greene with special guest star Matt Gaetz. Fringe MAGA World. That's a Mike Church Show comedy bit that must be made. Marjorie Taylor Greene was right on pretty much every policy stance she took in the first 5 months of the Trump 2.0. She's pretty much on the right side of everything. She had her own Twitter. She was making a lot of appearances. She was on with Maria Bartiromo. She would even pop up on with Jesse Waters a time or two. And then something happened. When something happened, what was the straw that broke that landed her in MAGA jail?
Well, she was upset about Gaza. She was upset about the intervention there. I know she went on Matt Gaetz' podcast, and they started trashing AIPAC. To me, it was kind of the Israel issue began to drop.
That's it.
Yeah, she started to be very upset, and her and Matt Gaetz held this interview together where they talked about all the AIPAC people, and then Matt Gaetz went on another podcast and talked about how the AIPAC fundraising works. That was the beginning of it. But to me, it kind of seems like she was looking for a reason rather than it was like personally torturing her.
Well, and you see, as I was trying to tell young Nick Fuentes yesterday, and I'm just going to go out on a limb. He knows who we are, obviously. Maybe there are Fuentes Groiper boys, dudes, or whatever that are listening. And again, I'm going to give you the advice, dude. You can't beat these people. They have all the cards. You can't beat them. Charlie was pursuing the only path that could ding them. He didn't beat them. He was dinging them. And that's what I think. I think it takes. You have 100 years of propaganda wars that you have to overcome. Like my friend Don Jeffries, again, I'm just going to go back to Donald Jeffries, who's an independent journalist and has been for almost 45 years now. And he's a newspaper man, and he was a magazine man, and now he's running his own Substack. Don Jeffries is, I think, pretty solid on most things. And again, here was the post from Monday: Evangelicals and the Veneration of Israel, Schofield and the Zionized Christianity. And Don didn't write this because he wanted to join the Charlie Kirk fray or get in on the campaign against against the killing in Gaza and the ending of Zionism and all that stuff. Don wrote this because he even confesses in the first part of it. He goes like, I guess I wasn't paying attention, and I never really thought that there was like a cult. Like this is a serious culture. There is a culture of Israel adulation. There just is. I could tell you, I saw it firsthand when we went to the Student Action Summit in Tampa, right into the main hall. If you walked into the main hall, the first thing you see if you came off the street and you walked into the main hall of Charlie's last conference was what, Maggie? A ginormous size, fathead size cutout of Netanyahu and about 200 Israel flags spanning about 50 yards across. And then on the flip side of it, they had the same thing. So Don Jeffries was writing this from the point of view that, man, I didn't know that it was like this, dude. And then he started looking into it, and his conclusion is, I don't think that those who are called Jews today are the biblical Israelites. If they are, then the ones who run the Israeli government don't act very much like a people who were chosen by a just and loving God. Bulldozing. And Don tells the story. He goes, he knew the journalist woman who was standing in front of the Gazan home, what remained of that home, and the bulldozer was coming to mow the rest of the home down, and she stood in front of that bulldozer. She goes, "You're going to have to go through me, and you need to stop." And they went through her, and they killed her. They crushed her. She was crushed. And that's how he began his, here it is, one of which was blocked by American citizen Rachel Corrie, who was bulldozed to death in the process. Trump cried no tears over Rachel Corrie, did he? Our government, as if it was being run by a president, Franklin Graham, uttered not a peep of protest at this. Killing children as part of their right to defend themselves? Come on. Look at the recent peace deal brokered by loyal Zionist Donald Trump. Israel didn't pay the slightest attention to the ceasefire. They never do. And no leader will hold them accountable, or at least cut off the generous taxpayer funding. If there is a chosen people of God, they should follow God's golden rule. Do the leaders of Israel do that? Would they want to be slaughtered by the Palestinians? Christians should worship Jesus, not the inhabitants of a land that was stolen from other people. Now, I don't know if you know Donald Jeffries. Donald Jeffries is not a reactionary. He's not a radical. He is formally, I want to say he worked for the Washington Post at one time. He is formally from that media world. So when someone like Donald Jeffries goes like, oh, wait a minute, I started looking at this and I'm going like, what the hell is going on here? This is the fray that Charlie was from a distance throwing Claymore landmines at. Not bazooka fire, Claymore landmines. Well, don't step on that one because it might blow up. I don't think people are cognizant of just how explicitly entrenched this is. So look who's in the wake. They're trying to get Tucker out, and I kind of disagree with John Daniel. Dude, they're going to take Tucker out. Now, Tucker has a large enough audience to survive, and people will always be watching his stuff, but he can no longer be invited to any of the Mike Johnson love fest. If Trump has a love fest and Johnson and the rest of the usual suspects are there, they can't invite Tucker anymore. They can't. Just like he doesn't invite Elon, he can't invite Tucker. Tucker's not going to get those invites any longer. Marjorie Taylor Greene is in that group. Matt Gaetz is now in that group. You don't see Matt Gaetz being talked about by MAGA people anymore. I mean, he's still there, and I wish he was still in Congress. But you're playing a game that these people fully anticipated your move, and they are fully prepared for it. And as far as they're concerned, nothing has changed. It's an interesting thing, though, Magdalene. They just lost control of New York. And they lost control of New York for someone who is not friendly to them at all. And now that's an interesting little card that is most certainly going to get Mamdani played.
Well, it is. And I mean, there's a lot of frustration as well in the Republican Party of New York on the fact that the Jewish population of New York, many of them voted for Mamdani. And at this point, if you're voting for Zohran Mamdani, I don't know what else we could offer you. We ran Lee Zeldin as governor, a great candidate, worked really hard, no laziness there, wanted it, was dedicated, no scandals. And the Jewish population voted for Kathy Hochul. And at some point, you just have to accept that we're not connecting the message. Like, we can't base the whole party around something for one country, and then the people in that country, or the ethnic population of that country, then votes against us in races where they should be voting for their own preservation. The Jewish population of New York continues to do this. They lost New York. I don't think they'll ever get New York City back now. I think it will stay in that area, and it will be held by the Islamic socialist wing. To me, that's just where we're at now, and it's very sad. But the Jewish population has contributed to it by voting for these people.
Here is a headline that I just saw from on Fox News from tonight's Auburn University TP USA event. Here are the headliners: Lara Trump, Eric Trump, Erica Kirk, and Benny Johnson. Who's missing? Tucker. There's no firepower there. I like Eric Trump. He's okay. I like Erica Trump. I've now heard the story. I'm not going to buy any tickets to a live concert. I like Lara Trump's okay. I'm not going to buy any ticket to a live concert. Benny Johnson, I'm not buying a ticket. Tucker, yeah, if he comes to LSU, probably going to try and go. He's done. That's TPUSA now. Oh, there was a scheduling conflict. Okay, we'll wait and see. That's TPUSA now. That's Erica Kirk going like, okay, you have to lock Tucker out. Charlie spent his life trying to keep the Nick firewall up, and now you have to keep the Nick firewall up. What happens if Charlie lives and he does become a Catholic and he becomes a thorn in the side of Sheldon Adelson, for example? I don't know where that whole thing plays out. How many hundreds of millions of dollars maybe don't go to TPUSA? I don't know. Look at the carnage of the election that you were just talking about. What's missing? Well, were TPUSAers doing door knocks? And they were.
They were in some areas, but I will tell you, I spoke to Brandon Straka and other people who were on the ground in New York because I was curious about the apparatus. There was not a turning point present. It wasn't there. And the reason was, well, they hate Andrew Cuomo. And to me, I get that, but also, isn't that your job, to have a presence? And they said nobody would do it. Nobody would go out there.
Well, it's a lot to talk about, and it's a lot that is left out there on the tarmac, if you will. And again, let's wait and see when the Christmas tree arrives. Well, I guess Eric Adams is technically still the mayor of New York.
Yes.
So, I guess Mamdani actually officially takes over in January.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got until January.
Okay. So then I'd imagine that Eric Adams would be the one that would do, and it's traditional. The mayor goes, the city fathers all go. They bring the tree from upstate New York. They haul it on a truck to Rockefeller Center, and they spend days lighting it. Then they got a giant crane, and they pick it up, and then they stand it up where it's going to go. And they have the big hoop-de-doo ceremony, and the mayor comes or whoever and cuts the ribbon, and bam-o, the lights get kicked on, and everybody ice skates and has hot chocolate. It's a big hoop-de-doo, right? You imagine that Zoran, moron, the Sharia law, Muslim magnificent. You imagine that he participates in that ceremony when he hasn't said a word, not a solitary syllable, about the Christians that live in his now city. You know, Timothy Cardinal Dolan, dude, are you prepared for a literal holy war against you by a Muslim? Look, when the Muslims commit to it, they commit to it. Are you prepared? I wonder if the good Catholic people of New York City are prepared, because now you're going to have young Muslim men who are going to feel as though they're living in London. They're going to feel as though, like, we're just going to take over this neighborhood. And what's Zoran going to do about it? Endorse us? Send us free food? Tell the bodega to send sandwiches down there or whatever? Yes, Maggie. Oh, all right. All right, Maggie, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Or your final comment on what I just said.
Well, I think the people of New York and the Christian population is not ready. And I'll just say one thing. Eric Adams was somebody who was a real coalition builder, was able to get a lot of this done. The Democrats turned on him, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him do other political moves because he likes being in office.
Who is this? I missed it.
Eric Adams.
Oh, Eric. Oh. How do you go from being the mayor of New York City and handing keys out to P. Diddy and what have you, and telling President Trump, you're not going to come in here and do anything. I'll tell you what's going to happen here. How do you go to that? And then not even, you lose your primary and you lose to, wow. It's an incredible story. Yeah, I would not be surprised as well. All right, Magdalene, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, 10th anniversary show is coming up next Tuesday, and we are preparing, and you can help us prepare by making sure that the lights are on and the internet's on and all that, and by making a donation at crusadechannel.com/donate. There's a fantastic deal. Many of you got an email last night. You can buy a 10th anniversary Crusade Channel limited edition commemorative t-shirt. Get a Mike Church Show neon microphone t-shirt for $10. We're frankly giving it away. Let me tell you, it costs more than that to have it made. So get you a 10th anniversary Crusade Channel limited edition with all the shows that have been on the 10 years of the Crusade Channel. Very ingeniously incorporated into the design. At the regular price, get a Mike Church Show while supplies last, because we're not getting any more made. So if we have it, we have it. You get a Mike Church Show neon microphone t-shirt for $10. So it's buy one, get one. Go to shop.mikechurch.com. The coupon code is, oh gosh, it's in the email. I'd have to look it up. The coupon code, it's in your email. You know what? I think it is XTH BOGO. Actually, 10th BOGO. XTH BOGO, I believe, is that it?
No, Donald Trump just sent that out on Truth Social.
Is that chat or signal? I can't tell. When you point at me, I don't know, Ms. O'Connell. I'm not a mind reader. Happy anniversary, he says. On this day, November 5th, 1 year ago, we had one of the greatest presidential victories in history. Such an honor to represent our country. Our economy is booming and costs are coming way down. Affordability is our goal. Love to the American people. President Donald J. Trump. Yes.
I was saying the importance of that is he just had a closed-door meeting with Republican senators. Maybe, just maybe, someone with a spine said, "Sir, we need to start talking about affordability in this country, not worry about foreign policy. look what just happened in New York. Maybe, just maybe.
Maybe, just maybe. So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance. You talked about it.
Shop.mikechurch.com. XTH. It's in the email I sent out last night, but if you can't find it, XTHBOGO. It's all one acronym or one word. That'll get you the t-shirt for $10. The Mike Church Show t-shirt. You have to have it in your cart first, and you have to have the 10th anniversary in your cart. It won't work. Either way, we'll be here tomorrow. If news breaks out today, if Nancy Pelosi quits. If news breaks out today, we'll break in. Here on the Crusade Channel, live, the last live radio station standing. It literally is. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be. A crusade for the truth. 10th anniversary coming up, and a big celebration and a big fundraiser with that as well. So hope you're getting excited about that. We're kind of getting excited too here. Look, he's going to Miami to talk economics. Maybe they have gotten to him. I don't know. In any event, have a safe and blessed remainder of the day. Today is the feast of Saint Zachary and Saint Elizabeth and the holy relics. God bless you and Mary keep you.